Let's get it. Let's get it. registrations we get, only 32 have managed to come so far. And a lot of dreams are definitely going to be shattered, but from them, heroes are going to be made. Few of the glorious teams will be, of course, like I mentioned earlier, will be qualifying for the PMPL and getting a chance to represent their region, their country, fighting for the pride, you know, the Bangladeshi pride that they carry, they instill amongst themselves. So yeah, now let's get back to the conversation that we were having earlier. This time around in the PMCO, we will not be having the Vikendi map. So I think it's kind of a bummer for me because I love Vikendi, considering Sanhok is still in contention, a map which kind of goes on RNG. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Sanhok is a really small map, right? Even if you take like a single fight, if we're talking about, if you get even in a one fight, there's a massive chance that you're actually gonna get flanked or either third party.
Yeah.
So like the rotations in Sanhok happen really fast because it's just a really small map.
Yeah, of course. You know, a 4x4 map, and you know how teams really tend to engage amongst each other. You're taking a fight, then you got some unfriendly neighbors that just chime in and take you down. But yeah, we're talking about the maps. Let's take a look at the schedule that we have lined up for you guys for the evening tonight. And there you go, starting off with Erangel, the circle of life goes on. We will also be ending things in Erangel, but what comes between it is definitely going to be Sanhok and Miramar. I love Miramar. Miramar is my favorite map. You get to make so many mechanical plays over there. The rotations are really neat, the rotations are really clean. At the same time, you need to ensure that you've got those vehicles going along with you. Talking about the vehicles, a lot of teams have different strats and different approaches. A lot of teams go for those 4-man buggies. We have seen 3 dashes, we have seen 2 UAs. So yeah, it depends on how you really want to approach. You know, the professional team, the upper echelon, as I would love to call them, the creme de la creme, teams like BTR, they love having that one buggy as a scout. So someone goes in, checks that place around, then calls their teammates up. But we have also seen teams that kind of go for those 2 UAS strats where they have one of their teammates with them in case, you know, they're just traversing throughout the map, going in for the rotation, and then this meets someone on the way. So you get that extra firing potential from your vehicle. So a lot of interesting strats that they can inculcate. And, you know, PUBG Mobile being that battle royale has always been on top. And we've seen, you know, strategies. We've seen different kind of plays. So that is what I'm excited about, because every single time a new team comes in, they put something in there. But let's not make you wait any longer, because the first game, ladies and gentlemen, is live. So let's just head into Erangel and see who gets the first chicken dinner of PMCO Bangladesh.
Well, as you guys can see, the plane fly path is already out there, and seems like it's going to be going from Gatka to Kameshki, like pretty not usual plane fly path here. It's definitely going to be harder and much harder for a team to like actually decide where they want to land.
Yeah, of course. I mean, talking about the flight path trajectory that we have in hand, it's going a bit towards the northern side, or rather the northeastern side. So teams heading towards the military base will have some trouble initially, because they would want to get their hands on those vehicles. And, well, it's just not them. You do not know where your opponents are going to land. You might meet someone who also has the same intention towards going towards the military base. So they might get caught in the kerfuffle, and we might get to see some early engagements right on.
Exactly. I mean, if you guys take a look at team, like one team is literally completely all over solo from the Georgia Pool side. Like seems like they're going to the apartment side. Like it's literally completely free there. They're gonna be getting out with so much loot. It's actually insane. And there's one team completely solo on Serenity side too. So like, what do you think about these teams? Like they're gonna be coming out with a lot of loot.
Yeah, I mean, depends, to be honest. Oh, the zone. Well, it's going to be tricky right now, because you've got the southern island in contention as well. We've got that bridge, and we've seen the fights happening over there. There's history. There's a lot of bloodshed happening. You've got the spirits of all the old players that have died over there. And, you know, a lot of players have turned out, emerged as the victors. So, of course, the bridge being in contention, you've got those, you know, compounds up top. So, you know, a team having control over that, a team having control over the pet gas station. We've got a few compounds just beside that. So we're going to see some engagement over there, because that kind of looks like the epicenter of this particular circle. So a lot of teams, what they will be doing, and we have a lot of teams rather going towards Yasnaya, Pollyanna, and 3 to be exact.
Exactly. I mean, if we're taking a look at the top side of the map, those guys are going to be having to contest the vehicles as fast as they can for the early rotations inside the circle, because there's a massive chance they might get camped outside the zone.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. But right now, what we do have in front of us is INFE Exillusion. So he's got his squad. They've landed right in Yasnaya. Like we said, they've got some unfriendly neighbors. That's Team Martyrs 1971 over there. So we'll have to see if he's been spotted because from what we can see, he's the lonesome player. He's like the lone wolf over here, and he knows that. He's just proning in because the noises that he's gonna make, and he also needs to traverse around. So the only problem that these teams are gonna be having dropping off at Yasnaya is they need to make sure that they've got their vehicles right. They need to make that rotation really quick because we just have 1 minute remaining on our clock, because after that the circle will start closing in, and if they do not find any vehicles, so you either get it over there or you just get it near the hospital compounds of Yasnaya, or else you have to go travel a long way down towards the eastern side where you have those small compounds and there's a garage in there. So vehicles are going to be absolutely important because rotations do matter, your timings do matter, because if some other team gets into the center spot right up start, and that's going to spell trouble. So we can see the players of Martyrs. Oh, he's lucky. He's got that level 3 helmet, and along with that Uzi, a gun which has been in the meta since a long time. But we've seen a few changes here and there. So let's see if the teams are actually sticking to those SMGs, or they're going to go for their good old assault rifles and the DMRs.
I mean, assault rifles and DMRs are basically the best choice you can actually do and get. You know, because SMGs are just close range and mid range. Maybe not even that mid range because the recall hits a lot sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing with Uzi was since the time we did get to see those scopes coming up. That's where we saw Uzi really going big, because the red dots, the holographics, gave you that extra range that you needed, for those mid-range engagements as well. So it's been a choice there, but a lot of players I've seen have opted for an Uzi M4 combination. You get that 6 times on your M4. You just spray it if you have a mid to long-range engagement. You have dedicated snipers in your team, dedicated DMR experts who are really, really prolific with that. As we are speaking, we did have a beautiful knock coming out from Illusion, who does manage to take down the first player over there from Team Martyrs. And well, Martyrs, I believe they were kind of in the oblivion regarding his position. They just charged in, and that's where the Uzi comes in. He just charged in, exactly. And he had the TPP advantage for himself, gets that knock, will secure that kill, and also a point.
Exactly. It's what I was talking about when I said close range. Like, he shredded him really fast. If you looked at how fast the kill was taken, it was actually really quick. But we need to take a look at Team Martyrs. Like, they're definitely going to be so disappointed after that first knock goes down, because it's like still early round, still first circle, and if you're down to 3 people, that's definitely going to be a lot disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really going to be a daunting task right now. But at the same time, Illusion is not out of trouble. But Martyrs, they did not know where his teammates are. But he's just the only lonesome player over there. Now, if they surround him and, throw a few grens around, try to flush him out from where he's hiding, maybe can secure that 1 point and, of course, get their revenge. But right now, Martyrs, they really need to find a vehicle. They have not done that so far, and the circle has already started closing in. And in a short while, we will get the map feed, and we will get a slight idea as to what these guys are up to.
Exactly. I mean, if you guys take a look at Illusion, what he's doing exactly here, he's just keeping all of these guys busy. Like, he's all by himself, and all the rest of Marty's people are just tunnel visioning on that one guy. So Illusion over here is actually doing a really fantastic job, while at the same time, if you guys take a look at Illusion's teammates, they're actually doing a lot here.
Yeah, I mean, look at them. They're so far away. They've just left him to be fed towards the players of Martyrs over there. He's helpless over there. How is he going to get out of that situation? But like we mentioned, the center of our circle, that we have a lot of teams already, being there. So we have the players of Team Locked. So they're present. They're doing well. They might have a fight, but here comes the push. Illusion, he's got a lot of job on his hands, but Spin comes in, takes him down, and there you go. He's been eliminated. A 3v3 situation, but his teammates are way far off.
Exactly. Beautiful push coming in from Martyrs there. Like, Illusion definitely did not expect 2 guys there, and all he could do was, like, more to more, he could get 1 knockdown, and the second guy just got the trade-off instantly. So that was an absolutely amazing play coming out from Team Martyrs.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
But right now, Team Martyrs, they did manage to, take out the threat that was looming over their heads. They've got their buggies secured, but where's the remainder of the vehicles? Just two people can traverse around. And you know, always having someone sitting behind you in a buggy is really risky because he's open to a lot of fights. But now we can see the players of 1971 taking a fight against IPGX, having spotted them out. And they've got those DPs, and we know how dangerous, how deadly DPs can be because these players are prolific on controlling it. And whoa, is he lost over there? Oh, pardon me, that was a glitch.
Exactly. I mean, this is what I was talking about when I was saying DMRs and ARs are more important, right? Like, you're taking a look at DMRs at a best. Like, you can literally spam a vehicle while they're making early rotations, and if you hit a lucky headshot or something like that, the enemy team is absolutely doomed. They cannot really, like, process, like, what's exactly happening and what to do because they will have to do a tactical pause, like, stop the vehicle right there, get a cover, heal yourself, and then keep moving.
Yeah, of course. Now, you know, talking about the different teams that we have over here. So IPGX, they've managed to secure themselves a compound, but right beside them, we have the players. Oh my goodness, he might be walking into enemy territory. This is gonna spell disaster for IPGX since he's been spotted out. Marshall, oh my goodness, he's taken a lot of shots over there. How is he gonna deal with this situation?
They are completely surrounded from all the sides, and as you guys can see, Team IPGS is already down to low HP. One of the guys down to low HP. Beautiful nade coming from the Team 99. What is that?
Yeah, that's 90, yes.
That's
so,
90, okay. Sorry,
all right, so Jihad and Confused. Well, they've gotten them surrounded, and now Sincere, he's just deploying smoke grenades over there. So now they have to retreat from this particular situation. How do they do that? Well, they aren't retreating, however. Lightning, I thought he would be applying that extra bit of pressure, but the retreat is definitely on. They're moving behind, and somehow they've made it to safety.
Now, as you guys can see, Team Wolves are just trying to scout out their compound. They can spot a lot of teams just making a lot of early rotations. This is what I was talking about, early rotations, man. They are so important, especially in a zone like this.
Yeah, of course, you know, rotations are going to be of absolute essence, but we can see Redl, of course, just dropping off from his vehicle, being knocked out. And 1971 will, of course, want to capitalize on the situation, but they still have their men already being pummeled down. Two of their men already knocked out. So they need to take this fight. Oh, my goodness, the charge comes in. C-Wine will, of course, want to secure the kills, but before that, a few Grens will definitely be going on down onto that small little shack that we have in contention over there. Thunder taking a lot of damage. He's dropping off.
Beautiful nades coming in from Team ECS. They're like beautiful nade to flush out 1971. They're like as you guys are taking a look at these fights, they're just finishing the kills that they downed off before.
Yeah, of course. And now we'll have to see how this fight goes on because the 4 players have already come in. The revivals are on. Now it's a 4v2 situation. Alpha 49, he needs to do something. He needs to get a kill of his own. Gets that one knock, but could not secure the next as C-Wine will be joining the party. Will be also taking down the last player. And there you go. We've got our first team being eliminated from the game, and that's Exhaust 1971.
Oh no, that was actually so unfortunate. I actually feel really bad for 1971 because, like, from what I was saying, the way they were playing was actually really good, and they got really unfortunate on those 2 knockdowns.
Yeah, now we have the players of NRC. We've got to see what they're up to now. The first airdrop coming in. The big green cannon. Whoa, it's got a suppressor. It's very rare that you see the perfect combination, you know, the perfect attachments to your weapon. All he needs is either a 6 times or an 8 times, and he's good to go. We've got to see some, you know, beautiful snipers in action as well, because the bolt action meta, to be honest, in PUBG Mobile is kind of dying away, because you either hit that one shot, you either get the knock, or else you're letting your enemy walk off inside the cover.
As you guys can see, Team AGX taking a lot of suppressive shots on the team rotating inside the zone, which is actually a really good thing to do. And it's just like contesting and capitalizing on your own situation and knowing that you have a really great position advantage on the teams rotating in.
Yeah. Right now, they've got the best position, to be honest, because they've got that high ground, a lot of information coming in, a lot of visual, you know, beautiful location they are in right now. So they've got their own sweet time to work things out. But the only problem is if the circle sways away from them, they would have to get down. They will be exposed, and that's the moment when the opponents can take them down. As we can see, the players of Team 12 over here, XBG, so Gyro X, they did spot the drop on the other side of the island. So where do you think? What is your prediction? Where's the circle gonna head out to, Necro?
I mean, currently it's like really hard to tell because like all these teams are actually doing really great job getting inside this circle. But as we talk about the circle, EC Thunder has been knocked and is in a really bad situation right now. And as you guys can see, Team Wolves is already busting all the cars so that they cannot get the early rotation outside the fight. But at the same time, Wolves are actually doing a really great job in capitalizing the position of Team 8.
Yeah, of course. You know, now Wolves, they've got to do something. They've managed, to take one down. C1 will, of course, get that revive on his teammate. We have got another squad in the fray, that is INFE. So if they spot out the player somehow, then they're basically Thunder exposing himself. That's not where he would want himself to be. The vehicle has been blown over. He's got a cover for himself. The buggy's been blown over as well. He needs to deploy a lot of smokes right now if he has to get himself out of that precarious situation. He's been caught off guard, and Gyro X getting that beautiful knock onto its Venom, who just charged him right onto his compound, punishing him for that unwanted push. And he was like, just stay away from my territory.
Gyro is not scared at all.
Yeah, he definitely not. He isn't. He's rather hungry, you know. He wants one more knock. So I think Durjoy might just be in a bit of a pickle over there, considering the position that he is in. And well, Dominic, he is trying to go in for the flank. Now IPG, they have actually committed for those compounds. They do want to contest it. But Gyro, if he gets that one beautiful knock, so you've got a situation where you are in a 2v4 situation, and you can really have multiple options. You know, you can just surround them, throw a few Krens out. But I really do not feel like the players of IPG are in a good position to really take those fights, because they do not have good angles onto it themselves. Because, you know, two of their players are in one position. Of course, one of them is in another. Imagine a push comes on that one lonesome guy, and if they fail to provide that cover fire, they're in a lot of trouble. But, well, Soulz of Bangladesh, they're taking quite some beating by the players of PO71.
Exactly. I mean, they don't even have actual, like, any info on Gyro's position. Like, he's already backed off.
Yeah, he certainly has. Now, well, team number 9 that we have in contention, Durjoy. He's got a Dacia for himself. He's got a few UAs to play around. The circle, as we can see, has started closing in. But, well, what do we see?
Oh, no.
Junaid and Wendy, they caught in a very, very tricky situation over here. They've got those ridges to play around, but with Hyper looming right above their heads, how are they going to get out?
Hyper is literally just bullying Windy and his team there. It's just like nothing much you can do. Like, if you're in that situation, like, you're just completely doomed. Like, do you have any way to tell me how he's going to be getting out of that position?
Let's just get into the minds of Windy. You know, what would be going on, because he's just in the edge of the circle. He needs to get inside, and with, you know, Hyper P all just surrounding him. You know, he's waiting for him. He knows there's someone coming out. We did see the players did throw a few Krens out, so the information is of course there. But we have the players of IPG for Arc. Well, they are engaging against the players of team number 12 that we have in contention over there. So the circle has of course shifted, and Junaid, he cannot survive for too long inside those waters.
Yep.
He needs to get out to, you know, take in that extra oxygen. And, well, that did cost him his life.
Exactly, but we still have Windy hanging on the cliff, right? Below the rock there. And as you guys can see, the circle has shifted completely toward the opposite side. So we're going to be seeing a lot of shots, like a lot of suppression shots on the team that are trying to rotate in from the water and even from the bridge.
Oh my goodness, Team AG, they're going to have a good time. Even we can see the players, you know, ES Lightning and his squad, they have found themselves in a very good position. But what I really love is from the players of BO7 over there. But right now, Ryan, oh my goodness, getting that beautiful knock, getting the second one as well, as the other team just goes down under below of the water area. And his teammates, they've got a clear route. But they also need to get in, and they need to get in quick, because a lot of teams are going to be rotating in at the same time. So it's going to be a bloodbath any single moment. There you go, Gyro getting a second knock over here. He, of course, would want to make no mistakes in getting that confirmation. There's no chance on earth that Rifat will be getting a revive out there. But look at them, look at them. Everyone, a fish, a helpless fish, this is swimming in the water, and everyone is being depleted of the HP, staying underground. And how long is, of course, my question over here, because the moment they expose, someone's gonna spot them down, and once you get knocked out of the water, oh my goodness, the plunge being made by the players. And Stranger, well, he is certainly in strange waters right now.
You know the funny part, even if they're like next to each other, they just cannot do anything.
Yeah, helpless. Helpless. The moment they come out, they cannot do anything either. As you can see, D-Quad getting a kill and a confirmation for himself, but he's not done. He needs to take a few more fights. He spotted one more down, but gets knocked away in a very bad position. You know, the reaction time could have been, of course, better. And with that, we do see a big team, NRZ Grim Reaper, being eliminated on the 15th position.
Exactly, NRZ Grim Reaper team is definitely going to be like really disappointed here. What do you think?
They certainly are. They certainly are going to be disappointed over here. But look at Team Logi over here. Old Boy and his comrades, they're taking a fight. We can see the players of Infernal X over there.
Okay, massive nade coming in just to finish that knockdown. But as you guys can see, there's fights happening all over the place, and a lot of suppressive, and actually they're actually trying to get those kills from the people who are rotating in from the bridges as well as from the water. But Gyro is in a really tricky situation here. Is he going to be able to get the knockdown on it? Oh no, they both are going to get knocked because of the zone.
That's going to hurt him because he was there. He was pounding his enemies and, you know, falling short to the play zone. Of course, you know, the only consolation he can get for himself is that he's not going to give any point out. But look at the camping over here. The players are waiting. Look at Dragon. He knows that a lot of teams going to come in from the water. And, well, they're all dead fishes over there. The moment they come out, they're going to be, you know, there's going to be that 1 second delay where you need to, you know, pop out your weapon. And that's the break that he needs. That's the time that he needs. Already starting to prep up his grenades. And if they are right, he can get a lot of kills from the boom that he's going to cause. And, well, we can see the few players already being taking heavy fire. He's getting a cover for himself, though.
Exactly. I mean, you can literally see there's 3 teams inside the water, and there's a lot of shots actually coming in through. AGX is actually just taking it, just repositioning himself, doing a little bit of tickle damage, as we can talk about that. But Dragon trying his best to survive in a situation like this, where it's a 2-on-1 situation. He doesn't have really much to do, like really not a lot of room to like breathe himself out. But like Poseidon is going to be getting one knockdown out of Dragon, and Dragon is definitely going to be a lot more disappointed and also helpful, because he was the only one there. Yeah.
Look at the number of people around over here. We've got 2 players of Martyrs in the dumpster truck. Well, Hitman, he's going to retreat from over here, or rather he's trying to get inside the circle, of course, with his teammates. But how are they going to do that? They've been surrounded, every single team making their rotation inside the circle. It's going to spell a lot of trouble. It's going to spell a lot of bloodshed and a bloodbath, as we can see Pial getting beautiful knocks here and there. But Ziso, he's got to do something. I really feel very skeptical and off about those dumpster smokes, because the only reason you're there, you are gating your enemies and you are obstructing your own field of vision. How are you going to get the knocks? It's better if you just retreat if you do not want to fight. But the players of IPGX, they did have that high ground. They did have those vision. They did collect those extra information, but they did not have enough cover, as a result of which they're being taken down one after the other, as Martyrs also are joining the fray. So all they have to do is make a push in tandem and get a few kills here and there, and they're good to go. But Reader, look at him. I've seen this lad in the past, and 5 kills already. He's entered into a domination spree along with Pial, who's got 3 kills for himself.
Exactly. Team Artist is in a really bad situation. At the same time, they're getting shot from the buildings behind them, and at the same time, there is a team in front of them. So, like, this is a really, like, pinch situation if we talk about here, because, like, if you take a look at Hitman, right? Hitman is just, like, camping next to a tree, and there's, like, not really much he can do, because there's literally guys behind him, too. And it's, like, you cannot really blame Hitman for what he's doing. Like, that's the best thing he can do at that position, and because the circle shift was so unfortunate over to the other side, a lot of teams got eliminated in the process to rotate inside the zone, and the team that actually managed to secure their position inside the zone is actually really a big achievement itself.
Look at the number of teams surviving. We just got 6. A minute ago, I think we were with 14 teams alive. So many teams just being wiped out, the existence being deleted from the server right now. But BD71, Brawley, So he's got a kill. He's got a few kills to work around with. He's got a compound as well. Team Logi is still surviving with 3 of their players and with 3 kills in hand. This is a pretty decent outing. This is a pretty decent first match that we could really expect from the players. But we do have themselves positioned in opposite compounds to each other. So it all comes down to where the zone is faring off. And look at that. Logi, they have the circle. Now they need to enter inside. And that's where, you know, Fuad and his teammate, Rolex, they're going to just charge in, maybe get those shots. And but on the other hand, if Goku provides that cover fire for his teammate from the back lines and they make a push, a few grins, because both these players of Team Logi are in the same compound, so that can be a bit tricky. So we will have to see how things go on as we are finally entering the final few moments. And there you go, the shots being applied, pressure is on. Who is going to come out on top as 2 teams are going to battle it out amongst each other for the glory, for survival over here. But that's still not going to be the end of the show, because you need to get that first coveted chicken dinner, because it really does matter.
Exactly. I mean, if BD71 wants to rotate, they have to get a knock or at least like a little bit of kills on the team which is in front of them, because if they don't do that, they're going to be getting caught outside the rotation. As you guys can see, Brawly OP's already taken a lot of zone damage because he doesn't really have any choice there, like, because Team Logi is literally just like they're just camping them.
Yeah, they certainly are. And now they're taking the rat off the play zone. Well, because Brawly knows he's going to meet his maker. He does not want to give away that important 1 kill point. Team Logi, and they're doing so much damage.
Exactly.
But, you know, engaging over there, if the circle goes away from them in the next zone, that's going to spell a lot of trouble. But your team's having the high ground. If they've got their vehicle secured, they're good to go. And our Team Wolves, well, they are applying those first aids. But for how long? He's got his teammates on the flank. If they just decide to push in, apply that extra pressure onto its 9ES, I think that's going to do the job for them. They've started off with the Molotovs, but I still want the other player to just push in from backlines, because no one sees him coming the moment he makes the push, because they've got their attention towards this particular team over here. So if the teammate comes in from back and he can get some damage, then that would be really great for this team. They need to get that extra space inside the map.
Exactly. I mean, true. It's definitely going to be a lot more tough for Team Wolf, though, like to get at least like even 1 knockdown over here, because there's 4 people in front of him, and it's first of all, it's going to be really hard to decide like who to shoot and who to not. And when he does, he gets the 1 knockdown down. Like it's like he's going to get traded out instantly. Like this is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You see this? He's going to get traded out instantly even if he decides to shoot. And now BD71 is actually in a really unfortunate situation here. His car's busted. He's behind that car hiding. All he can do is just hide and wrap behind it. But Marta's team is already on top of the hill, and does BD71 actually realizes this. Wizzy is just looking at top of the hill, and I'm pretty sure he's actually able to hear those footsteps at the same time. But Team Martis doesn't really check below the hill, and BD71 still surviving.
You know, they cannot afford to, but Exentric Infinity, look at them.
Oh my
4
God.
players charging together in tandem. They're going to wipe out the existence over there of Team ACC Wine. Oh my goodness. This is absolute domination. 14 kills coming in from these lads. And if they get this chicken, they are going to go bonkers right from the very start. But look at Team Logi. They're still alive, taking this fight against the Team Martyrs over there. But look at BD7 Wizzy, still that 1 player surviving. How long can he though? And if Logi and the Martyr go hand to hand, toe to toe against each other, then Wizzy might just get something out from this situation, might go in for that 3rd party. But we can see Fuad making that push, taking some chip damage from that grenade. Can he survive this one? Wizzy, is he prepared for it? And let's see, can he knock him down? Can he get a kill secured for his team? He spots him down, praise. But yeah, look at Logi Fuad on a domination spree already, as we have just 3 teams remaining. Who gets the first chicken dinner, Necro?
I mean, it's definitely going to be hard to tell, because, I mean, yeah, one team is definitely dominating the whole scene here. And it's actually going to be quite interesting to see like how this is going to play out, because, I mean, all these players are really good, and there's still like, I think so, 4 teams live here.
Yeah, still 4. It's 3 teams right
it's
now.
Down to 3 teams.
Yeah, just 8 players alive. But with the way Team Exentric officials have been playing in Exentric Infinity, rather, but Martyrs have done a really good job, because they were stuck during that bridge camp. They did hold on. I think timing is what they've really improvised on. They've really worked out on. They figured that one out, and that's really helped them to get so far. But can they secure the chicken? Because they've got that high ground position. What Exentric do have to work around is they need to contest for that high ground position. They've got the numbers backing them up, but a few grenades, a few smokes, and applying that extra pressure might just help them in getting the first chicken.
Exactly. I mean, if you guys take a look at Team 8, like they have all their players alive.
Yeah.
And for example, like Team Artist, only 2 guys, and there's one more guy, and it's a complete solo. So over here, Team 8 definitely has a massive advantage because those are literally 4 guys alive, and they can just completely contest the zone and at the same time surround everyone who is actually alive here. If they realize and capitalize on their opponent's situation and know how many teams are actually how many teams are alive, and at the same time, how many people from those teams are exactly alive.
Yeah, you know, Thunder, he's already been taken out of the fray, so it's a 3-man Exentric Infinity with 14 kills. They've already done the majority of the job. Even if they place top 3, I think they're going to be sitting right on top if we accumulate the points coming in from the kills as well. So it's a tricky situation. It's a 3v2, I believe. Team Logi also having all 3 of the players alive. 14 seconds on the clock, after which the 8th circle will start closing in, and you certainly do not want to be out of it because you're going to take a lot of damage. You better have those first aid kits with you. You better have those boosters up on you, and that's the right time to use it because where you're going to take it home, it's not going to work out. But Riedel making some movement, making some noise with his vehicle, trying to create that cover as we see a Mexican standoff between these 3 teams. Any one from them can win. Either of them, or all of them rather, waiting for 2 teams to engage, and the 3rd team might just want to chime in, or might just want to, contest for it, might just steal away the chicken. But, well, Martis, still they're having the high ground advantage. I think they're good to go.
Exactly. It's a 3v3v2 situation. 3 players from Logi, 3 players from Exentric, and 2 players from Martis. Like, Martis is definitely in a massive disadvantage. So now what they can do here, the best possible situation, is just wait out for everyone to actually fight, and they can just third-party the fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, considering the situation that they're in, they're the best spot, right? They have the high ground. Anyone coming from down below, they will be the one spotting them first. So if they manage to secure 2 knocks, then the onus kind of shifts onto its the players of Exentric Infinity to really try to contest in for the top spot. So that's going to be tricky, but I'm really scared about what Team Logi have to offer over here. Dropping down all on their first aids. I think one of their players is going to stay behind for the heal battle, as we still have those stone ridges, creating that slight cover between Team Logi and Team Exentric Infinity. Any single moment, the fight is going to break down because the 9th circle has started closing in. That's where they're making their move. This is the time where he could have really gone in, but falling down to the play zone, that's certainly not acceptable.
Hitman just droning down and getting one knock on the team Exentric. Exentric is definitely not going to be happy, but at the same time, Exentric wins the game. And take it.
We'll have to see because I'm really scared.
Yeah, I'm actually quite confused.
Because it happened so quick. Because the players of Team Logi also charged in, but Logi Esports, like we mentioned, it came down to them. It came down to that Mexican standoff, and having 9 kills, not too shabby. Really, a very, very beautiful start for Logi Esports, getting 24 points out from the first game. And the best part about Team Logi was they made a very quick shift. It came down to their zone prediction over there. They did feel that the circle was going down south. We did see the players already settle in right from the early start, and they were very picky with their fights. We've always been talking about the good fights and the bad fights, and they could have engaged earlier on, right? They could have gone in, but they were being very cautious with their positioning. They did wipe out one team, and then they took the cover of those hills, and they let the fight emerge between the 3 players of Team Exentric and Martis. But what really was a bummer for me was Team Martis over there, just proning in like, sleeping ducks over there, not doing anything, getting eliminated from the play zone and giving the chance for the players of Team Exentric to go in for the push. But that sort of gave the window of room for the players of Logi because they were completely being disregarded. They were not being paid attention to it, and well, they capitalized. They managed to get the final kill and also the chicken.
I mean, props to Team Exentric. Like, they were playing really aggressive.
Yeah, they were certainly playing really aggressive. Once the overall standings come, once the map standings in fact come up, we will see if they have managed to secure that first spot, because for the first position you get those 15 points, but for the second position you get 12. So they did have at least 14 kills from when we last saw them. So if they managed to get the last kill onto its player of Martis, so that brings Team Exentric to its 15 kills. So before that, let's take a look at the best player, because we did see a lot of players going really big right from the start. So the MVP has to be C-Wine, getting those 5 kills and an impressive 1143 damage.
Exactly. I mean, C-Wine, we saw him, like, he was just getting so many, like, actual good damage. And as I was talking about suppressing shot, C1 was doing an absolutely fantastic job on capitalizing enemy teams' positioning and on like strategizing on how he's going to be suppressing those teams down and stop their rotations. But at the same time, all the pressure that they'll be playing, like those are players, they have a lot of pressure. You don't have to give your life away easily. If you do, your team's going to be disappointed. And when the game's done, you're definitely going to be getting a little bit roasted here and there. Like you're going to be saying, oh, why you did this, why you did that. So like C1 coming out on top and getting that MVP is actually really like props to him.
Yeah, I think when the overall standings do come up, I believe Exentric Infinity have done a pretty decent job at that.
True.
You know, they've been right there in from the start. This is one of those experienced team coming out from the Bangladeshi region. We have seen them in the past as well. Now coming in, now these guys are like the top contenders. You know, you've got some teams to watch out for. They certainly are one of them. But you know, Team Logi, of course, walking off with the chicken. That's gonna be a huge morale boost. But let's take a look at the other players that are going to be joining along with C-Wine as our top players, and we do see 6X and Redal, of course, again from Exentric Infinity, playing amazingly well. But look at Gyro X. I mean, had this player, you know, survived a bit longer, I'm pretty sure that he could have made it to the top spot.
I mean, that was the only player who was not scared of anything. Like, not gonna lie,
he died in the play zone.
Exactly, dude. The unfortunate thing there was he got caught outside the zone, and it's like not really much you can do because the only two ways you can take is either from the water, either you're gonna get contested on the bridge or contested from the water as soon as you get down, because like you're gonna be having a lot of DMRs and a lot of snipers just pointing at you, and at the same time like close range people like with the ARs who are just next to you, but not they're not friendly, but at the same time they're next to you. As soon as you get out, like there's just gonna be like cluster shots everywhere. Yeah,
exactly. You know, I kind of really was expecting a lot of action happening around the bridge because we could have seen a lot of things happen over, because there was already a player, I believe that was Dragon, who made it in time, and he was just waiting for the other players. I thought, you know, he would be dropping a few grenades out. But, you know, talking about trends, let's take a look at the numbers, the match summary, and see how the stats have come out. You know, the highest kills, of course, going towards Redal, but we have a different MVP format, so C-Wine does stand up on that. And of course, the longest distance kill this time is 256. So I'm starting to wonder what was his loadout exactly. Did he get that from an M4, or did he have a DP, or maybe some DMRs? Because we did not see a lot of bolt action coming out this time around. Neither the AWM action as well from any of these teams. But C-Wine having the highest damage, longest distance travel. So Team Wolves, 12,000 meters, so makes that 12 kilometer. 12 blocks is what they have traversed in, so they dropped way too up in the north. True. So they did manage to rotate out, but it was Thunder, of course, again coming out with the maximum number of assists.
True. I mean, as we were talking about, like the team that was exactly dropped on the top, like they also got good loot, but at the same time they had to contest those vehicles early game and move on to the zone because it was completely on the downside.
You know, the only problem, what I can really feel for these players was, you know, dropping way off onto the northern side, the zone really not favoring you. You need to have your rotation really quick. Of course, the loot is going to be there everywhere, because in the tournament standards format, we have 3x loot. So 3 times the loot, you're going to get those weapons, you're going to get those first aids, you're going to get those scopes, you're going to get it all. But I've been, you know, being very, very precise. I've been harping about the same thing over and over again. The timing of your rotations need to be precise. So that is one thing that Logi did really well, and courtesy to that, they managed to get that chicken dinner. But there's again a team like Exentric Infinity really fighting their way inside the circle, fighting against every single squad that came in front of them and demolishing them up until the point that they were distracted. What they could have done was they did have the numbers advantage. One of their players could have easily pushed on to its Martyrs. The others could have paid attention to its Logi. They did not do that. They were kind of in the dark as to how many players of Martyrs were alive. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the map rankings and see in the match number 1 how did teams fare off. And like we mentioned, Logi, of course, getting that chicken, but still 4 points shy, because Exentric Infinity managed to get that knock player's kill as well as the entire squad. So Logi getting those final kills, getting those chicken dinners, did get them the second spot, but it's Exentric Infinity that are on top.
I mean, hey, in the start, I said Exentric got the chicken dinner. I mean, little bit, I wasn't wrong at the same time. Like, they're literally on the top. So it's like the main chicken dinner here has, like, Exentric has their in their pockets. And the way we saw, like, on the hilltop, the way they pushed those teams. And one thing they realized, it was like, it's a do or die situation. If you don't push these guys, you're going to get either flanked or you're going to get either DMR'd in your head from the back. So one thing Exentric Esports did was, like, capitalizing on the situations you're in and realizing on what kind of situation you're in. Like, it's like the way you work around and the way your mentality is when you're actually in a tournament like this, it's like, it's really hard to think. And if you're going to be taking those strategies onto the table, it's going to be a really, like, a massive thing itself.
Yeah, of course. But right now, let's take a look at our lovely Oppo Reno moments that we have lined up for you guys. And well, right off the bat, we did see Illusion. I mean, he did whatever he could. But you know, Martis, huge props to them. Landing right off at Isnaya, losing out on one of their players, and surviving right till the end. They did also hold off on the bridge camp. They did a lot. I mean, it was completely an adventure for them because they were venturing from one territory to another, right from the northern side to the southern side. And it always gets tricky when you have that bridge in contention. And we did get to see. But Gyro X, definitely one of those players that I will be looking out for because he's really impressed me. Had they, rotated a bit early because they were the ones that were in those coastal compounds that we did see right across the delta over there. So a lot of things could have happened, a lot of interesting fights that we got. But one thing for sure, the team from Bangladesh region do not shy away from a fight. If they see someone, they are going after them.
I mean, I would really love, like, the way you actually gave props to Team Martis. I was actually like, wait, there was one team that was actually doing really good here. I forgot the name, and then you just took Team Martis. I was like, oh yeah, Team Martis was the one who actually was able to survive in the start. Like, losing a player early game is not really a happy moment itself, and if you're going to be able to get through the bridge at the same time, like, getting inside the zone, is going to be a really, like, massive part.
We have had a massive matchup. The first game of Erangel, really bombarding and the acceleration inside us. We're all thrilled. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be pushing for a short little break because right back after is Sanhok. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Bangladesh Region Split 2021. My name is Fixes. We are right back with our game number 2, and joining me along is, of course, Necro. So it was quite an interesting game number 1, right? We did see the team Logi, of course, capturing that chicken dinner, getting their hands on that. But it was team Exentric Infinity that did come out on top on those overall standings, all courtesy to those beautiful, beautiful kill points that they did. So carrying forward the conversation, had we been facing our old points distribution table, then Logi would have come off on top. But right now we've got Sanhok. Any early speculations, Necro?
I am literally not gonna say anything. One thing I'm gonna say here is I just want to watch this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the kind of a bloodbath that we did see in those mid games, because we saw majority of the teams being wiped out right while they were rotating, right while they were traversing through the circle. And I mean, a lot of kills did come to the play zone and to the water, in fact, because nobody could just get inside the safe zone at the right time. But with that being said, let's just head into Sanhok and see what action unfolds here as the flight path trajectory going all the way up from north towards the ruins area. So let's see how and what the teams are up to.
Exactly. I mean, as you guys can see, there's like already chaos. All I see is just chaos. A lot of teams are just like landing all over the place. If you just take a look at it, like you're not even able to read those names properly.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, they're spread across like flies, you've got the splash of colors everywhere, and it's gonna happen. I really want to see who drops off at bootcamp, and we do have the players of 1971, but this time the circle goes all the way up north, with the epicenter being somewhere around the Paradise Resort. So of course the players of Team XP do have that strategic advantage, but look at Exentric Infinity. I love how they're dropping on those small little compounds, and they'll be looting, they'll be kind of grouping up together, and then might contest for the Paradise Resort.
I mean, even if those small compounds, if you like manage to secure those, like you get a lot of loot in those small compounds, because this is Sanhok, and the loot is like basically double than the, like other maps if you compare them both. But at the same time, if you take a look at Team Wolves, we cannot forget those guys that they've been doing a fantastic job even in the previous game.
Yeah, of course they did. But the only problem with Sanhok I've seen so far is the lack of utilities from the players. You get your guns, you get that QBZ, you get that QBU, even if you want to go for that. We don't see those minis, we don't see those Carrels. So Force QBZ being one of those special weapons for this particular map, and we've seen a lot of players rather in fact sticking to the M4 because they're so very well acquainted with the spray pattern. It's like in their muscle memory, it's like in their reflexes. So yeah, that's of course a thing over there. But considering how things have started off, I really have some good vibes coming in from Exentric Infinity, because they've got a lot of options, right? They've got no one behind them, so they do not have to look behind. They have that tunnel vision right up straight. So if the team from the right maybe tries to charge in, that is going to be a different story. But Mortis, oh my goodness, I mean, these are the ones that are like magnets towards enemies, because right off the bat we see one or the other player kind of gets into a kerfuffle with the players of a different team. This time, however, it's going to be Venom.
Exactly. I mean, IPG4 and Martis, like, even if they lose like any one of their persons here, they're like, of course they're going to be disappointed, because Sanhok is a map, as we were talking about. It's a really short map, right?
Yeah.
Each and every single teammate, as long as they survive, is going to be mattering a lot, because we're going to be seeing a lot of ARs. At the same time, we might even see like a lot of SMGs, because like most of the fights are going to be like probably in close to mid-range, and those ARs are definitely going to be helpful in like even long range and even mid-range, and plus even in close ranges.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be there.
But as you guys can see, it's just a stare down, like literally a stare down. But at the same time, Martis Hitman is here to back his teammate up there. Like, this is what I was talking about. Like, if you've got your teammates back, there's no way. No one's going to be stopping you. And I don't think so, like, IPG4 Venom really realizes that there's one more teammate supporting XD here.
I mean, it's not one more team, it's a whole battalion, and they
Yep.
are actually committing for the push, but Flint getting knocked out. Venom will,
Oh,
of course,
no.
want to secure that kill, but
No.
Venom, he's making a run for his life because the party is already here for IPG4, because I see a few shots being taken at onto its XO over there, but Hitman, oh, rather going in for the revive, not really contesting because he knows the backup is already there and he does not want to reveal his position. He does not want to be in the open. So Venom, now he has a chance where he can actually survive.
Exactly. I mean, Venom doesn't really seem to have, he has any kind of bandage, but at the same time, Venom's teammate, Dictator, is actually back there. Is he going to be able to make in time before Venom dies, though? That's going to be a massive thing, because Venom is actually doing a great job surviving. Like, he actually, like, just completely changed his position. I don't think so Martis, XZ, or any of the Martis players actually realize where Venom is. Oh, they're right there. He made a little bit of sound, so now I think so Venom is quite aware of where, Martis players are quite aware of where Venom is, like, located and situated, because over here, like, all he's doing is just like capitalizing on that one position and just tunnel visioning in front of him. But at the same time, HyperX Pal is already in a fight with Martis, and Martis is actually in a really bad pickle here. What are they going to be doing? What do you think, sir?
Oh my goodness, this is what I was talking about, Sanhok, right? Third parties, that
Exactly.
is what happened over here. Piol, of course, getting that first blood, and he'll get the kill confirmed as well. So, Mortis, well, they were engaging against IPG4, and now they find themselves being backed off, and now Venom does, of course, want to capitalize on the situation. Did have that UMP, but that was just not enough
my
as
God.
he gets taken down. But Stranger will, of course, go in to help his teammate in, but we still have another squad also coming in. Oh, right off the bat, we see so many fights happening one after the other, and the smoke being deployed, that's a good decision. But if someone drops in a Molotov or a crane, they're pretty much done.
Exactly. Props to Stranger for coming in time here and saving his teammate Venom, because Venom is probably one of the really good players. Like, the way he played that was actually a really good strategy, and the way he used his brain was just, like, fantastic. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, the way he played and the way he repositioned himself was just out of my mind, and it was actually like it must be quite mind-boggling for Team Artist, because they literally just got flanked from the back, and this is what I was talking about when it comes to Sanhok. And literally over here, a lot of DMR usage, as we were talking about, just tunnel visioning on that bridge side, like trying to spot anyone rotating in, but doesn't seem like NRZ is going to be successful in that. Here comes the drop, MK14, a massive DMR, and at the same time, he can also use it as an auto gun. What do you think? So, like, who's going to be able to contest this drop?
It's my favorite weapon. It's my favorite. I mean, it's a demon looking right into your eyes, through your soul. Once you equip that, once you're on with it, you kind of feel a different level of confidence inside your body.
Exactly.
And, yeah. I really want the players of Logi really going in for this one, but at the same time, in Sanhok, it tends to get a bit risky, considering the fact that a lot of other teams might have their prying eyes onto its that special drop that we have. But look at PD71, they don't care. They're in here for a cruise. They're like us, they're just chilling around, they're just traversing. But Poison, oh my goodness, already spotting out a player. That Sahil, is he gonna survive? He's taken a lot of chunk of damage over there, but Poison in fact gets taken out himself.
Oh no, the guys in the buggies were just like, hey, don't mind us, man. We're just cruising from here, okay? Please don't shoot at us. Yeah, we don't mean any harm. We're friendly, please.
So, Golden Stallion, they've already lost out on one of their players. Another is knocked out, and certainly they cannot go outside to go in for a revive. But the players from INFE got Particle. They can make something happen over here. But Illusion, as he's trying to rotate around, he's been spotted off. But, well, Poison actually gets to live another day.
True.
He's got that revive.
Like, right now, what these teams are doing is, like, they know what kind of map Sanhok is, right? If you're going to be making too much chaos, if you're going to be making too much sound, even if you give your position away, even by mistake, you might get contested by other squads, and they might just, like, know where you are, and your position might be just, like, capitalized on.
So kind of a, calm before the storm situation.
True.
We did get to see those early fights, but things have kind of slowed down right now because everyone is pretty much focused on their rotation. And now Team Golden Stallion, well, they've got a good position for themselves. They've somehow managed to revive Poison, and He's got a decent amount of utilities going in. He's got those 2 first aids. He's got that Vector, which is an absolute explosive weapon, at least in Sanhok. And I think the Vector meta was kind of brought in by Team BTR. I've seen Zoxy, or rather, doing a lot of wonders with it. And you know, in those really sticky situations, Vector is one of those weapons you can rely on. Of course, owing it to the beautiful very high fire rate on that weapon. So now the circle has started closing in. Look at that
Look
team.
at Stranger.
Yeah, I mean, his entire team. I mean, that's a very neat way to rotate. They can go all the way up to its cow.
But you're not looking at this. Team NRZ's right on the bank there, making sure no one's going to be rotating inside the zone from back there. And if like Stranger's going to get caught by that and his whole team is going to get caught by them, then they're going to be having a really hard time getting in there. And as I was talking about, it's IPG4. We have seen them playing really good in the previous map. That was Erangel. And now we're here in Sanhok. It's definitely going to be really much more harder to like do. And as we're talking about that, here comes the second airdrop, and it's going to be an AWM. I don't really think so like anyone's going to be going for the airdrops at this point, because all they want to do here is survive and at least get to top 3. And as much as kills as they can, they want to get there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, AWM definitely the most powerful weapon in the lobby right now. But then again, in a map like Sanhok, where you can really do wonders with just your M4 and the 4 times, even with the 3 times, you're equally as deadly, and you can get that recoil control. Because with the AWMs, if you miss your shots, you know, it kind of is basically donezo over there. So the opponent gets into cover, you're not getting enough out of it. But now, well, IPG4, they've done a decent job, you know, taking the C route, and they've rotated around. But like you mentioned, you know, I'm really scared about them, because we've got players of NRZ and now BD7. If they spot them down, you know, this boat is really delicate. It's delicate darling. It just takes barely a 1 mag, you know, kind of blow this one away. So, you know, just with 1 explosion, you get 4 kills. 4 kills equals 4 points. So, well, they'd be thanking their stars if they survive, because every single time a team has really opted, you know, for the waterways, they've not really managed to make it alive, but they certainly have.
And yeah, as you were talking about delicate darling, I really like that word, the way you use that for the boat. Maybe I would start calling the boat that.
I mean, we can. I mean, vehicles like the Zima we've seen in Vikendi, of course, that's not being played over here. So in the Frozen Tundras, that's also one of those vehicles I'm really, you know, bogged about. But, you know, we're talking about Sanhok. How can we ignore the tuk-tuk and also the scooter?
Come on. Best to best, like, vehicles fell against those. You cannot be compressing those vehicles down and saying, "Oh, I don't like those." No, I dislike those. I mean, come on.
See, in Sanhok, of course, it was Team BTR that did get in the vehicle meta, because earlier it was such a small map that the teams were kind of like, we are fine just walking off. A lot of the teams did not really have any trouble, right, you know, trying to get inside the circle. So they were good to go at that. But at the same time, you know, BTR comes in with their new strats, with the new kind of plays. So they were doing fairly well. And after that, we did see a lot of teams actually going with the scooter. And every single team has, you know, taken a scooter or a tuk-tuk. They've been blown into smithereens.
One thing we didn't really focus on here was Team Artis. Really early casualty happening here. I mean, they literally got eliminated. Like, the first squad that was eliminated was Team Artis, because, like, we saw them playing so good last game, and I'm actually so sad for them. Like, I just want to see them play. Like, I just want to see them play on my favorite map, exactly, if I would like to say. And what was happening was I was just left disappointed.
Hey, Necro, pick a team. Who do you think is going to win, provided you already have a lot of information right in front of you? My money's on Exentric this time, though.
I was literally about to say that.
Okay, come on. We can agree to be on the same boat over here. So we both are rooting for Exentric Infinity purely just because of the positioning that they have. Because, you know, I'm really scared about the fact, you know, Team XP being in Paradise Resort. Now they're in the center, but at the same time, if they do not have enough scopes on them, if they've got their attention diverted to just one direction, they are open to threats from different areas, right? So that might spell trouble. But for Exentric Infinity, they are on those edges. They're playing it really well. They've got no team behind them. But we can see NRC's daddy, well, moving into the pan. So when you're you know, kind of crouched and you're moving with the pan, you're giving very little noise. So you can make those, you know, little nitty plays around. Again, the AUG and one of the weapons of the military drop loot I absolutely despise because, I mean, why do you need an AUG when you have the likes of an M4?
Dude, AUG is so good. You cannot tell me you dislike AUG. I absolutely love this weapon. The fire rate that it delivers is so good. Like, you can literally melt down people. It's like almost as a fire as off a Vector, but a little less, I guess you can say. But still, with an AR with a 5.56 rounds, if you're getting that kind of fire rate, oh my god, you can literally just melt people down. But at the same time, like, Groza was the one in 7.62 with a lot of fire rate, and you can actually like melt people down with Groza too, but we cannot ignore the situation that's going on in front of us. From Team INFE, Sahil is just raining nades down on BD71, like, and doesn't seem like he's going to be able to connect any of those. But at the same time, BD71 Wizzy capitalizes on the team on the Team 10's position. At the same time, he's going to be up behind them, and they have no clue that Wizzy was just waiting for them to get on the hilltop and just spray them down.
But look at him. He's so much in the open now. He has to also get inside the circle.
That is true.
Giving away his position at such a situation. Right now, how is he going to get in? And like we've already mentioned,
I feel like the zone's going to be shifting to Fatmark.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
My guess.
We've got a wizard amongst us, ladies and gentlemen. So
Exentric.
Exentric.
Exentric Esports is literally just going to be dominating the whole zone, but at the same time, we cannot ignore the fact that AGX Dragon and his team is literally just moving behind them. Like, how are they going to be able to capitalizing on their position? Oh no, Wizzy goes down here from BD71. BD71 is going to be disappointed, but here another knock coming in from BD71, just going to be trading it out instantly. A massive fight going on over here from BD71. Goku OP trying to survive as much as he can, but at the same time, Team 10 is just trying to do as much damage as they can, and just going to be falling back to Sahil, trying to secure his teammate, making sure he's not getting completely thirsted at the same time. Now, all he's doing is just trying to crawl into safety. Sahil and Goku, all they can do is just try to get as much as cover as they can and not get thirsted. At the same time, if you guys take a look at Quad, GG is just trying to do a little bit of tickle damage. At the same time, he has the information that he might be getting revived behind the rock, and oh no.
He still has got some weapons to play around. He's still got the Vector. So Vector against an AK, I still would root for the Vector. And there you go. That burst damage, you know, that class damage that we can see coming out. And there you go. Infinity God Particle being eliminated. And
God Particle.
Yeah.
Disappointed over there.
Not the Higgs boson anymore.
Now, but as you guys can see, like, a lot of heals are coming through at the same time, but just like Poison and stuff they have really less HP here, and it's just like a 1v3, like it's a 1v3 situation, and I feel like Sincere doesn't really realize that what he has gotten himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of he's in a whole world of trouble right now.
That's true.
I just hope that his position has not been compromised. You look at that blue drop over there. Do you think they've gone for it? Does it contain that MK14 we were talking about? Mahfouz getting the first knock, but look at Sincere.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. He's getting a shot right on his head, but then, you know, the cover fire is right from behind. Mahfouz really goes into it Sincere rather. He would want to get that revive onto it because the time is of absolute essence. Somehow he gets there. Somehow he gets a res on, but Rhinos taking a lot of damage. But why is he going for a bandage at this particular situation? He's got 4 first aids to play out, for Christ's sake.
He's gonna be tanking the zone damage too.
I mean, bandages right now.
If he wasted a first aid right there, he wouldn't be able to tank the zone damage for much longer.
So already the 5th circle, I mean, you're already going to take a lot of beating. You know, after the 4th circle, you need to respect the zone. And in Sanhok, of course, you can get in. And Squad BD71, Omega being wiped out, being the last solo survivor. He is under tremendous pressure. I can feel it. All new players, you know. Once you come in onto it's a big stage, when you know that teams are watching you, you tend to get those sweaty palms. You tend to make those wrong decisions. And there you go, Golden Stallions being eliminated. But right now, we have a fight between the players of Soulz of BD and, of course, Team 12. That's XP Blood Legion. So Ryan getting that one knock onto its Chennai. Entry already proning in. Hydra and Wendy, they're going to push in tandem. But are they going to get the knock, though?
Exactly, Ryan barely surviving on his position, trying to just like waste as much as time as he can on Team Sob here, and Team Sob is complete tunnel vision on Ryan's position, but he gets flanked. He gets third party. This is so unfortunate for Ryan here.
Look at the kill being stolen right now.
Oh, no.
That's not how he thought that he would be walking off. And we knew that Paradise was definitely going to be a hot spot with so many teams, you know, coming in and engaging. But I'm still having my money onto the players of Exentric Infinity. And like we've already mentioned our reasons. But the Dark Kid, okay, he's being taken out. Cloudy with that beautiful 2 Gren knocks. So he's doing good. Now they're going to push on towards another team over here. That's 1971. Alpha 49 trying to go in for that knock. Gets that one with his M4. Beautiful, beautiful control. Gets a second one as well. Needs to heal up right now. But he's still got Daddy to deal with him. Now how does he do that? Daddy's gone for that revive. But Alpha 49, he's deployed that first aid. Has he though? Rather going in for the push. Rather going in for the commit. But he can be punished for that. And there you go. Gets punished. He had all the time in the world to deploy that first aid. But not really going in for it. As we have yet another fight erupting right in front of us. As Soulz of Bangladesh are in a whole world of trouble.
Exactly. As we're talking about all this aggression coming through, there's a fight happening all over the place. It's actually really hard for him to cast through. And there's just so many knockdowns getting over here. So one more team member goes down from Sob. Now they all are in a really bad situation here. They all have low HPs. Is he going to be able to get the first hit off in the zone though? Of course he is going to be able to get the first hit off. Now he's going to be trying to getting his teammate out, but at the same time, Dominic Bot taking a lot of shots on the teams that are rotating inside the zone. Mefu's in a really bad situation here, trying to rotate inside the zone, barely going to make it. Dominic is going to be losing his vision onto them, and he's going to be getting inside safely.
Yeah, he certainly is going to get inside safely, but Mahfouz, I love that the way he peeked out and got that knock around. Now we've got our team Detonator rather, going against the likes of XP Blood Legion. Well, Blood Legion already lost out on one of their players just a couple of minutes ago, but right now, how are they going to engage in this situation? Both of them being on that same compound. And, well, there you go. We know, of course, who is yielding that weapon. And there you go, Gyro X. I mean, he's a monster. He's going to take down Jihad. And any single moment, he's just prone in, waiting for Jihad, trying to collect that extra bit of information. Now cooking up on his grenade. Can he get that knock? Can he get that knock? No, he does not. But, however, flushes out the enemy. Everyone is low right now as Dominic discharges and Jihad trying to do whatever he could. But he was punished as well. The last player surviving Hellfire. What are you doing, mate? That's not the time to revive. As he goes down, and the whole squad gets eliminated.
It's actually really beautiful how they actually contested the whole team, but at the same time, we cannot ignore what is happening in front of us. IPGX, since they're getting one knockdown on the team NRZ, and they're going to be really disappointed about this knock because the zone's moving at the same time, and they have to heal a lot. And now NRZ is in a really bad spot here because, as you guys can see, only Cloudy is the one inside the zone. At the same time, Daddy is trying to make sure as long as he can survive and trying to rat around his way, just making sure he's not getting spotted by any other team. And as you guys can see over here, Exentric Esports is in a little bit of trouble here too. But as we guys can see, Wine has got his teammates back, and he's going to be trying to revive Thunder.
Yeah, of course, you know, Exentric Infinity, of course, not getting a lot of kills around this time. We've not seen them in action. They've been respecting the circle. But as we approach our last 5 teams alive, we can see the players of NRC rather going in for the healing battle. And now he's got 14 first aids, and I think this is going to be really big. This is going to be really huge. Tutul, how long is going to survive? Can he get that knockout though? But I don't think he's going to commit for that because he's going to play for the survival game. With Marshall, we can also see him also resorting to that healing battle that we can see. But Thunder is already being knocked out. Riedel needs to come in for the revive, but NRZ, they find themselves in a very good spot.
Exactly. I mean, as you guys can see, I feel like he's going to be tanking the damage as much as he can until the zone is shifted to almost to the end. But at the same time, he would almost want as much as time as he can get to get inside the zone and just capitalize on his teammates and on the enemy situation. But as you guys can see, a lot of utilities being used, those Molotovs, those nades to flush out enemy teams from their position. As you guys can see, beautiful nade coming in from that, and that Molotov's definitely going to be finishing that knockdown. Exentric Esports is in a massive trouble here, and as you guys can see, Experience Esports, oh my god, Daddy getting that whole squad wipe and the domination. Now it's down to Exentric Esports versus NRZ, who's going to be coming out on top. What do you think, so?
Oh my goodness, we've got a 2v2 right in front of us. Thunder getting that revive. This is the time where they deploy their grenades. This is the time where they use up all the utilities that they have. I love the Thompson. I love the Tommy gun. I mean, you can do wonders with that weapon, with the hip fire that you get. Thunder getting that first knock. It's all going to come down to the last player over there.
Oh
and Exentric Infinity, we won this! Of course, getting the winner with a chicken dinner. And right bang on the money. We did predict, we did see this coming, and Exentric Infinity. This time, however, with just 6 kills, but 21 points is definitely going to solidify the lead that they've started building up for themselves.
Exactly. This time they decided to play a little bit more strategically, as we said. Like they weren't being really too aggressive because they know Sanhok is a really small map, and the kills will go through and come through as the game progresses on, as the circle goes smaller and smaller. But we saw there were so many teams surviving, even when the circle was literally like so small. There were like, I think so, 12 teams or something surviving, even when the circle is really small.
I mean, this is a beautiful thing that we're witnessing from Exentric Infinity. Now, we've seen 2 different styles of play. In the first game, they went completely bonkers. I mean, they got kills after kills, but this time, they kind of notched it down a bit. Now, they knew that they had the circle. And like you mentioned, like you very rightfully mentioned, that once you have the circle, once you need to respect it. You do not need to go away anyway. You do not need to hover around the map. Let the players come in. They knew that in the final circles they could get those frags, and they did, in fact. And of course, NRZ, huge props to these lads, because Daddy, of course, clutching it out in a situation where 3 of the teammates were knocked earlier, and still somehow getting his team into the top 2 position. And of course, huge ups to Blood Legion as well, considering the start kind of they had losing out on one of their players, of course, while going against the players of Soulz of BD. So this again was absolute pandemonium right to the end, because so many teams were just fighting against each other. But you know, somewhere down the line, I really feel bad about the players of IPGX. You know, if in fact Mahfouz, the kind of a performance that he was really putting forward, I really wanted to see more out of this team, because we have seen this team in the past. We know the talent they possess, we know the capability, and somehow, you know, getting caught off guard while rotating around and dying off, that's the way of life. That's unfair to them, but that is how battle royales work out.
Exactly. I mean, especially in a map like Sanhok, like there's just so many situations where you can be unlucky, you know, like if you're going to be getting contested by, like as we said, like if you just get like backstab from any angle, you're just not informed what's going to be happening. If you get in a fight, you have to look at your back at any cost. Like you can't just be tunnel visioning on the squad that's in front of you. Right. You need to make sure you're clear from all the angles before you're actually engaging in that fight. Or if you get engaged from the opponent team has to make sure that they're not covered by anyone else. And even they have to completely capitalize and know the enemy teams, like each and every single teammate's position, or like what they're doing, or what they're thinking at the same time. Like if you are able to get all these factors in, your team might be the one to get the chicken dinner.
Yes, and that's the bang on the money over there. That's been explained really well, really good. But you know, Necro, of course, now I gotta get your attention to another weapon that we kind of sort of ignored, to be honest, that went under the radar. Tommy gun. I mean, after the update that we did see those red dots coming after that, we saw a lot of players going for it. You've got 50 bullets in a single mag, and you can completely just go ham. You know, the rat-tat-tat-tat, you just spray around, and you know, the kind of an accuracy when you get with that weapon. And in those final circles, we did see Exentric Infinity using it perfectly well. I mean, they completely justified why do you need to go for that weapon. You've got that .45 ACP ammo onto it, that you've got extra bit of damage, not the 9mm. So, you know, those things, those small nitty things really help you out. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking a look at who the MVP is of this particular map. And that's definitely going to be Dominic. Well, this guy kind of slipped under the radar. He was like the unsung hero for his team. But you cannot slip away from the data that we have. And there it goes, being really visible. 5 kills coming out for this lad particularly. And 815 damage is a testament of how good he was in this game.
Let me tell you what I love about Dominic here the most, because it's like when you're getting in those crucial fights, Dominic is the one who's looking behind your back.
Yeah.
I saw him doing that, and I was like, wow, that's actually such a great thing to do. You're watching your teammates back at the same time. 3 of the players are taking the fight and capitalizing on the enemy's position, but while at the same time he's looking at his back and just like trying to take a look at like if they're getting flanked or not.
Yeah, of course. But right now, let's take a look at the top players, the other players that are going to be, of course, joining Dominic. And there you have Fiol. Right from the get-go, we did see him going really aggressive with, with those 3 kills that he garnered for himself, along with Sincere too. And with Cloudy from an RZ Cream Reaper. So Cloudy is, of course, one of those players that we have to look out for. But, I got to feel bad for the Golden Stallions, the way they were playing, Poison being knocked out, and they still somehow retaliated. They still somehow answered back. So what we've seen so far, early on, like I was saying, every single time we come into the realms of PUBG Mobile, the meta sort of shifts, the meta sort of changes. Now all these teams are getting so aggressive with their approach. Early on, it was all those teams, trying to have a good position inside the circle, waiting because they knew you've got those extra points for those position points. And now, now that you've got very less points, I mean, you're getting the chicken, you're getting 15, you're coming second, just getting 12, just 3 points. I mean, if you've got 3 extra kills, you're there. So that did help out the purpose of Exentric Infinity. But right now, we're going to take a look at the match summary and see how the stats come out.
Exactly. I mean, as you guys can see, Dominic got, of course, the highest kills. But at the same time, if you take a look at NRZ Cloudy, we've got the longest distance travel here. We saw them the way they were traveling, right? And at the same time, if you take a look at like all these other players, for example, PL was the one doing a lot of stuff, and Junai was actually doing a lot of stuff there too. Like he was the one also the longest distance travel was really longest. Like, it was just insane.
I mean, Cloudy definitely did have the longest distance kill, getting with that M4, and it's certainly understandable, 200 meters is fine in Sanhok. In Erangel, we did see, 257 in a huge map, in an 8x8, so in Sanhok, that's pretty decent, that's pretty neat. But now what we are going to do is take a look at this particular map's ranking and see how teams are paired off. And, well, there you go, NRZ Cream Reaper, of course, with those 8 kills on 20 points, but it's still the boys from Exentric Infinity, like we mentioned, courtesy to this one chicken that was coming, right? We did feel that, and they could have gotten the chicken right from the very start in the first game as well. Some small mistakes were of course made from them, and this time making no mistakes, getting that covered chicken.
Exentric Esports has already boosted all the way up on the leaderboards. They probably have a lot of points at this point because we already saw 15 points from the chicken dinner. That's massive. 6 kill your team has managed to secure. That's massive. Every single point matters in these kind of situations, and you need to contest those fights at the same time to get more points as you can. But one thing I was really disappointed and sad for was a team like Matris.
Yeah, of course, Martis really having really tough time because in the first game, they were right on top. They did, get a very good position point. They did have those they did garner the 3rd position, if I'm right, if my memory serves me correct. So, but it's just that one map. And with Sanhok, you have that RNG factor coming in. You like I mentioned, you kind of have those bad days, and that was just a bad match for Marches. I'm pretty much sure that they're gonna come back. But what we are gonna do is now take a look at the Oppo Reno moments that we have lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. And yeah, Piol, right from the very get-go, he went berserk. He went ham after the players, got those all those kills.
Exactly. I mean, PL was the one capitalizing the situation on Team Artist. Like, he's just pinched it completely from both sides because Team IPG is like, as we were talking about, he was just doing a really great job on contesting the whole team and keeping them in one compound, not letting them move, not letting them change, not letting them breathe. And it was just like a really hard time for Team Artist.
Yeah, I mean, Martis, they somehow tend to always find themselves amidst a battle. Right, just dropping off, there's someone nearby them. And it was not their mistake. It was a different squad that really pushed upon them. And Piol did so much over there. But, Sincere, he was kind of in a very picky position. But this is where I was talking about, Thunder. Eating the Tommy gun and completely just with the spray.
All over the place. Didn't even care if he was hitting his teammate. Doesn't matter. I just need to get the kill, okay? I have a lot of bullets. All I need to do is just hit some shots on that guy and get him down. And this is what I like to see. It's like you just don't care what is in front of you. The only thing he could see was that chicken dinner, and he saw it on the screen when he got that last kill.
Exactly. And, he did not even have to open up his ADS. That was absolutely not necessary. So while you're going for that, if you talking technically, you tend to get that small delay. And in those clutch, sticky situation, that matters a lot at the highest level that these players are playing in. So a few of the teams did make those small mistakes. Of course, they had to pay the price for it. But now moving on, we've already gotten done with these two matches, right? Now let's take a look at the overall ranking and see how these teams have fared off. So Exentric Infinity with a huge solid lead, just being 1 point shy of getting that 50 points. But Logi and XP Blood Legion, they're not far behind. But you see that difference, right? You see that segregation.
Exactly what I was talking about. They're boosted all the way up. Like, it's going to be hard to even catch on. Like, you will have to get so many kills on those next two maps coming up. And Miramar is going to be the one map to get hard kills. Like, it's going to be so hard to farm kills on Miramar. Long range map, right? Yeah. The only thing you can be using, like, bolt action is going to be really hard to use at the same time because you're going to be taking a lot of long range fights. And when you're using a bolt action sniper, there's like a lot more things, a lot more factors, and a lot more mechanics you will have to learn about those, like bullet drop-offs, the bullet lead, and stuff like that. There's just like so many things. So I feel like DMRs is the one we're going to be seeing a lot more used from all of these games.
Yeah, I mean, Necros pretty much said it. DMRs is what we are looking for in Miramar. But before we venture into that, we will be heading for a short little break. You don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open, the Bangladeshi edition, Spring Split 2021. Of course, before we get started and continue with our show, a huge shout out to our sponsors. That's Oppo Reno 5. And well, Necro, we're having quite a delight to watch all these teams. Of course, Exentric Infinity walking off with a massive lead right from the start. And a few of the teams, I mean, the two teams that we have in picture over here, that's Logi. They're just far behind, almost, 25 points behind them.
That is, I mean, that is true. I mean, Loki Esport does have the talent to get on top of there. Like, we all can agree, like, the way they were playing, and especially stuff like that. But right now, if we're taking a look at the group stage A and B, like, we've got Miramar, right, lined up. What are your expectations? First of all, one thing I'm really excited about to see how the zone's going to be shifting in these maps, because Miramar is a massive map. We all know it's such a massive map. Contesting those vehicle, getting those vehicle in your hand, and capitalizing on enemy situations and position and where they're hit, like where they're headed to, and like what are they doing? Those hilltops. If the enemy team has the like high ground on you, that's definitely going to be a lot more difficult to rotate inside and get those early rotations in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just said it. And we'll be, of course, getting into our predictions. But before that, the game is already live. So let's just head into the desserts and see what action is awaiting for us. And as we're speaking, you know, there you go. The flight path trajectory all the way from Puerto Paraiso to West La Trilera. So kind of a certain tilted flight path that we get in front of us right now. So a lot of teams are going to be facing a lot of trouble. So this is the same storyline happening. We did see that happen towards Erangel. We did have 3 teams dropping off at Yasnaya. So Los Leones seems like to be a place which is definitely going to be a hotspot. Along with that, you know, you've got your options with Monte Nuevo. We can see a few teams going up to its Chumacera. Considering you have these kind of, you know, tricky flight paths, I'm pretty sure a lot of teams would be having a few tricks down the sleeves, you know, the plan B. So suppose say that you're a team that loves to go to its La Cabrera. If the flight path does not really favor you, you need to have some other drop location where you need to go in. Now, considering the fact that this is just a starting day, now these teams are really in the dark about where each other drop. So I'm really excited to see where are these teams going to be heading down to.
I mean, as you said, Los Leones is going to be the hot point. I mean, that's not really true because it's like when like on the places that plane flies on, no one really drops there, and it's like there's only that one team who actually has the guts to drop there, and just like completely based on your luck, like they just have to hope, oh, okay, there's not too many teams
I mean,
around.
they did have the cojones. I mean, they were prepared. I mean, if a team did drop against them, I think it's just their name itself that instills fears in the heart of their enemies. Now, IPGX, again, one of those big teams from Bangladeshi region, they've been doing so well. And now they have the blessings of the circle. But I really want a search. I'm like gazing upon the map feed and looking forward to Exentric. So where are they exactly located? They're hiding from us, aren't they?
Exentric, yeah, it's actually quite hard for me to spot them as well. And as we are talking about that, the
against an RZ.
The first people we were spectating is Exentric.
I mean, this is the same fight. Sanhok, top 2 teams, now going against each other right from the get-go.
We might be able to see like a really early off fight here between NRZ and Exentric. The chances of Exentric coming up on top are definitely a little bit more than NRZ, but still we cannot just like judge off of what has happened in the previous game. Maybe NRZ just got lucky and didn't really get enough time to like you know, just think around on how Exentric is going to be playing. But at the same time, if you guys take a look at Exentric's position, I feel like they're actually in a really comfortable spot because they're just holding their positions. Like, look at them. They're just, like, holding their buildings. They're just holding their grounds. Like, as I'm talking about, for example, if you take Shuwo, sir, he's literally just, like, using the third-person advantage as much as he can. It's just, like, trying to spot any people from NRZ.
Yeah, you know, dropping off at Impala and players of NRZ. They do know that there's a squad right beside them, but they do not know who exactly that is. And I love the position of C-Wine. I mean, having that higher crown, having that high elevation is certainly going to help you a lot.
True.
But, you know, when you venture into Miramar, it all comes down to your read of the map. How well versed you're with the terrains, how good covers do you create for yourself. You need to get instantly to the center of the circle to secure that, you know, top spot and try and defend it. And, you know, if you talk about the international teams, you know, RRQ Athena, of course, a team that has disbanded lately, owing to their performance in the PMGC. They were considered as the kings of Miramar. Every single time they come in, they were so promising. So teams would definitely want to play like them, you know, try to get those center spot, try to contest from the higher grounds, trying to contest from the higher locations. But, well, you know, one of the players of Virtus Pro from the PUBG PC realms, so they were the ones who got in some nitty tricks inside this game. You know, the higher elevation with the bike, he's got in some new strats. And we did see in the World League last time around, players from Box Gaming, they tried to implement the same, of course, with US. So I was really, I really went mad and I really went nuts looking at the kind of a strat they had. But we do have one of those teams, Necro, that's heading all the way towards the ruins.
Exactly. I mean, I don't really know what's exactly going on in their mind. Maybe I feel like Jihad is literally just taking a vehicle, like he's just trying to contest the vehicle as fast as he can, and now he's just heading on towards his teammate, getting every single one of them in the car. And like, as we take a look at El Pozo is actually a really great spot to loot. Like, what do you think? So El Pozo, I feel like whenever like I used to play PUBG, El Pozo was like really like you can bet this spot is going to be a little safe, but at the same time, like there's not going to be a lot of teams just dropping inside El Pozo, and there's not going to be like a lot of cluster and just like a chaos over there, you know? It's pretty rare to see that inside El Pozo, but at the same time, like we're just seeing a stare down from NRZ Cloudy towards EC there.
Of course.
Exentric.
It's kind of getting into a stalemate kind of situation, you know.
True.
Teams are not really doing much. You know, they're wasting the important time that they must be, you know, rather utilizing in kind of looting, because you don't get that much. You do not get that much room. You do not get that space. You need to get back. You need to retreat. So, of course, you know, you need to be smart in these kind of situations. But, whoa, look at Astro's position. Yeah.
Astro. But the thing is, like, the far away you go from your team, it's going to be harder for you to trade out. This is what I was trying to say. So Exentric Esports is definitely not a team that you would want to solo contest them. It's going to be really hard for you to do that. Like, if you try to go solo against Exentric Esports, it's going to be like really tough. I'm not saying it's impossible. Like, yeah, everybody make mistakes. We're human beings. Everyone make mistakes. Like, you have to give them room too. But at the same time, Exentric Esports are the people who would like rarely make any mistakes. And like, if you're gonna be going against them and solo, if you're gonna be trying to get like a really good position on them, no matter how good of a position you have, their aiming is just too good, and they're just gonna be taking you down from no matter where you are.
Yeah, of course. And considering we just have a limited number of matches, I mean, you need to test, you need to prove what you've got. You need to be on top of your game every single match. You know, you do not have those kind of cushions, you know, one map you kind of mess up and then you were like, I can really work it out in the next map. Of course, you get a chicken, you go really big with the numbers, that's good. But at the same time, you need to be consistent is what I'm really talking about over here right now. As we can take a look at the map right now, IPGX, they are comfortable. They have the highest ground, they have the highest elevated compounds. But look at them. Rather, I think they're kind of going towards the eastern hills of Los Leones that we have. But you know, this particular position, just on the western side, we've got that hospital kind of a compound, which is really, really difficult to push. So I'm kind of precarious as to, I'm rather curious as to what is going to happen over there. Who is going to go there? So that's going to be a big question on my mind. Gold Stallions, they've gotten themselves in a good position. Same goes for Team IPG4 Arc.
I mean, you ignored one situation there. If you take a look at Power Grid, there's just so many squads there. It's literally going to be a chaos. Like, I feel like their vehicles are literally going to be rotating into each other, and they're going to be seeing, and it's just going to be a drive-by.
Imagine them just clashing onto each other, or maybe just blowing each other apart.
This is what we like to see, though.
Yeah, that's what we are in here for. That's what our viewers love. Yeah. Action, chaos, anarchy, annihilation, every single thing that we can expect. But, you know, Team Domination, like we mentioned, they did head on towards the ruins area. They did get down to the loot. I'm really curious as to how much of a loot that they have on themselves. Because let's be honest over here. I think a minute or two ago, we did see them traveling around towards ruins. Now we're looking at them just retreating. So they did travel a lot. And I'm pretty sure if you talk about a team that has traveled the longest distance, this team is definitely going to find themselves in that position.
True. But at the same time, Miramar is actually a really big map. But if you take a look at Team Wolves, they're actually running outside the zone. I don't really know what they have in their mind, but I feel like they're going to be trying to get on the edge of the zone, like as much as, they're going to be trying to like completely rotate around and try to, like, if you're going to be getting on the edge of the map, one thing you definitely know is that you're not going to be getting flanked from behind. Like, your back is always going to be covered no matter what. Even if there is, then he has to be inside water and you already have an advantage over him. But if you ignore that situation, you're always going to be having a lot more advantage. But one thing we ignored here completely over here, Fixes, was how good these nade utilities are, and like how are these situations going to be working out, you know?
Yeah, of course. You know, Rolex.
Utility, yep. The utility is like the more important, and MK14, the DMR, is going to be coming into play here. If anyone's going to be able to contest this drop here, if anyone's going to be taking this drop, they're going to be having a really massive advantage because Miramar, as we talked about, it's a map where you do need a lot of DMRs, and at the same time, it uses 7.62, which is a really like high caliber round, and plus at the same time, it has a suppressor too. Like, it's going to be really hard for you to like know where the shots are going to be coming from if you're getting hit from a long range. And especially MK14, you can also use it in a close range with a compensator, the recoil. Yeah, it is definitely harder to like control, but at the same time, it does a lot of damage. So you taking the enemy down in a close range fight is definitely a lot more higher chance than it is.
You know, I must say this to you. There are few players that have actually mastered long-range sprays with an 8x on an Mark 14.
I mean, the thing is,
Can
like,
you imagine that to happen on auto?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, look, in casual games, people do anything they want, right?
Yeah.
But when there's money on the line, and when there's such massive money on the line, I don't think so anyone's going to be trying to spray, because it's like, at that point, it's like you are literally, like, you are guaranteed to hit like a little bit of shots if you're just tapping around, right?
Yeah.
But if you spray, there's a chance you might miss a lot.
Yeah, you certainly will be missing a lot. But, you know, I've seen these players, a lot of different players from different regions have kind of mastered it. And I was rather surprised. I was rather shocked. How on earth could you control this beast? How on earth could you, really go in with those sprays? So after a point, you know, on these close ranges, especially in PUBG Mobile, you can destroy your enemies in a jiffy. And this is one of those weapons that, deafens you. You shoot that first bullet, that's all you hear. The entire mag gets empty, you just hear one bullet sound. So it kind of gets confusing, you know. You talk about some glitches here and there, that's all right. But, getting back to the game, we did see Gyro X on the MK14 last time around. Blood Legion, they were having a really good time. They're going really aggressive, but Exentric Infinity.
Oh, no, he's going to be getting shot from the side here. And now Chihuahua started, capitalizing on his enemy position. Beautiful knockdown coming from that car, though. Like, beautiful Scarlet spray there right onto his dome. Going to be connecting his shots and going to be getting that knockdown onto Team 9 there. What do you think of that? Well, how is the fight going on there? And now at the same time, he's getting literally shot from his back, and now Chihuahua is in a really bad spot. At the same time, getting shot from his front, same time getting shot from his back, and now Wolf's Jigsaw is already compromised on Chihuahua's position, getting a little bit of shots, and from the M416 doesn't seem like he's going to be connecting any shots, so Jigsaw is just going to be giving up on that thing and going to be trying to focus on his teammates and his position more. At the same time, getting those utilities in, trying to get those frag grenade knocked out, as we were talking about how important utilities are in games like this. When there's money online, you have to use those utilities. Like, you do not have them like a lot. You probably will have like 5 nades, more max to max, so you have to be really crucial and precise when you're using those utilities. But at the same time, Chihuahua is getting flanked from his side. Does he capitalize on this enemy's position? Doesn't really seem like it, but at the same time, he has his teammate next to him, so there might be a little bit of chance. Beautiful shot coming from Jigsaw. Going to be doing a little bit of damage on Chihuahua's teammate there.
Yeah, of course, he certainly is going to do it. And Agent, that was a beautiful flank from his side. But Hunter has spotted him with his pants down. Oh, he's just shooting at a dead crate. Oh, my goodness. He's deceived, but somehow manages to figure to spot out Jigsaw. But it was just too late. Oh, my goodness. That's a disaster. That's a blunder. And, I mean, I've been in this kind of situation where you kind of shoot at that Joker crate and eventually you just tend to realize that it's someone else. So small mistakes being committed from the players of Exentric Infinity, and they are paying the price of that, as Rofi will get the frag and will secure the kill. As Team Wolves, they have taken an upper advantage, an upper edge in this particular fight, and now Agent will want to get the final kill, but it's his teammate. And there you go, Exentric Infinity. Of course, the kind of a lead that they had right now, and being the first team to be eliminated. Now this spices things up. Now you have the players of Team Loki who can really now maybe try to get a chicken dinner and try to cover up the gap that has been created.
one thing I'm going to talk about here, which is really important, that Wolves managed to take out Exentric Esports, but at the same time, in the process of doing that, they didn't lose a single person.
Oh, they did lose out on Arceus, though.
Okay, my bad. I didn't really notice that. M249.
Yeah, I mean...
My favorite weapon, not gonna lie. You can just spray down cars and stuff, like anything with that.
You can do whatever on earth you want,
you can also use it in the long range. You can just put on the 4x, 6x, and you can just keep on tapping people off with that gun. I just love it. I just freaking love it.
I mean, but at the same time, you know, if you really want this weapon, you have to get your hands wet. You need to get yourself wet. You need to enter.
You need to get your whole body wet.
Yeah. And that's a risky trade-off, considering, you know, the circle's starting to close in any single moment right now. So, well, it's going to be a big trade-off, you know. It's going to be a huge gamble if teams are actually going in for that. And in a map like Miramar, where you have that distance coming in there, it's going to be really tricky, to be honest.
That's true. I mean, we definitely forgot one team here. That was 1971 here.
Yeah.
Thunder has been, we have seen him in play since a really long time here, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he's going to be contesting on those enemy positions. Okay, this is a pretty decent, decision making, I would say. Just trying to shoot out the car tires, making sure the team that is near you is not going to be just running away by taking those cars, and they have to face you and face the situation that is in front of you. At the same time, if you guys take a look at Wizzy, this man has been doing a lot, Fixes.
Yeah, he certainly has been in the thick and thin of it all. But, you know, right now, the circle starts closing in. And with Exentric Infinity already out of the equation, and Team Loki really having a very, very good chance at this. And the same goes for Blood Legion, so they've been playing well. Martyrs, if you remember, after the first game, they did secure 13 points, but they did get out on 0 points. And now Exentric Infinity, they won 49. Somehow they've made it 50. So that's the only consolation that we can take from around here. And you've been talking a lot about, you know, the tunnel vision. I think 1971 are also rotating in from the edge of the circle, but will be they'll be meeting the players of Soulz of BD any single moment.
Exactly. I mean, SOB and I feel like 1971 might have a clash over here, because as you guys can see, they're so close. They're actually so close. They might be having a fight upcoming here, but at the same time, we cannot ignore the situation where NRZ and another team is moving right next to him. As we were talking about, Zombie and his team, which is 1971, is already in a fight. Beautiful nade coming down on that hilltop, making sure, just forcing the enemy team out of their position. Oh no, Entry has gotten a lot of lethal damage onto his side. Molotov trying to just pinpoint those Molotovs and utility positions, and Zombie's actually doing that pretty well. He's just like flushing out all the enemy teams from that hilltop. He's not letting that high ground get taken over by SOBs. Now Hydra gonna be healing himself up a lot here, gonna be using all of his, not all of his, but like some of his medkits there to heal, but at the same time they're actually getting like flanked from another member of 1971. It's gonna be Alpha 49. Beautiful placement coming in from him, and at the same time Sob Windy spots Alpha, gonna be taking a little bit of suppressive fire just to make sure Alpha knows that, hey, I'm over here, do not backstab my teammates.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be there for his team. Zombie, he's taking some damage, not enough though.
Yes, I mean in Miramar, it's just like the zone movement is so
You need to respect
slow.
the circle in Miramar, to be honest. I've been in those situations, in the competitive arena. You do not have the vehicles, you're pretty much done, but Junaid, look at him. He's getting
what
ham.
A spray.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful prone spray.
Remarkable.
Does have that M24, yeah.
Remarkable. Like, oh my god, that was absolutely, like, that was so good.
Yeah.
I would like to call it inhuman, but I mean, yeah, it might be possible if you have that many hours in game. At the same time, I'm just a noob myself, so I don't really know how to control the sprays and stuff. But at the same time, I try my best to get good at the game. But as we are watching already good players playing the game, Junai is just trying to snipe, and we haven't seen Bolt Action Sniper in action since a long time. And there goes first knockdown. So I feel like Team SOB is going to be feeling a lot more confident because they are already inside the zone, not taking much zone damage, and also has the high ground up and has a bolt action sniper rifle, which is going to be doing a lot of damage. Yeah,
it certainly is going to dish out a lot of damage over there. But Entry really getting that Kren knock in, but kind of restricting the entry of the players of Team 1971. Now Junaid has been spotted. He's taking some damage. He's just being peppered off. He's forced to back off from there. Windy. All right,
Just
UMP.
tickle and get the suppressing shots out with his UMP.
How do you feel about the AMP though?
I mean,
In
I feel like
Miramar.
if you remember back in the day when it used to be like 9mm ammo, it was super good.
Yeah.
Because it's like the fire rate of UMP is actually so easily controllable and stuff like that. But one thing we haven't been talking about is the vector. How good it was fixes when he's used to use the ACP ammo.
I mean, it gets you that damage. It you know, it gets you that fire rate. Vector is insane. It goes
shreds.
mental. Yeah. But then again, coming back to AMP, you rightfully pointed out, you know, 9mm AMP was way better than the 45 ammo. You get that very slow fire rate. Of course, on those long ranges, you get a bit of a control. But this is kind of a weapon that you would want to use if you've got nothing on you, to be honest. Because over different SMGs, I would any day go for the likes of maybe an Uzi or maybe for the likes of an SMG like a Tommy gun. A Vector, of course, is not one of my choices, at least in Miramar. In Sanhok, I love it. But then again, in Miramar, I would love to see a lot of barrel action. I haven't seen barrel so far. AK, of course, having one of the highest damage from amongst the rifles, but the fourth airdrop coming in, it's the big green cannon that you've got to lo and behold and respect it. And we'll have to see if a team, in fact, goes for that, because it's just beside Los Leones, and it's easily in the reach of the team in maybe...
In the premises.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it doesn't really seem like there's any team like in the campus around there, you know? It's just like, I feel like at this point everyone's just vibing, taking a lot of zone damage, trying to get inside the zone, maybe listening to a song in the way inside the car, you know, just like chilling out. Unless you get that one shot that hits you in your head and they're like, oh my god, oh no, yo, let's do this, yo, let's do that, yo, let's do this. It's just, I've been in those situations and it's just like everyone just starts talking at the same time, but hey, these guys are the best of the best, so I'm pretty sure these guys don't really panic much as we do.
I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty sure they must have gotten themselves organized, you know, have that pep talk amongst themselves, because this is a big event and you've got to be on your toes every single time. You cannot, you know, let things slip past by. So you've got your IGL, you've got your filters coming in, you know, to kind of rectify any kind of call. So, but I would still like a one-man show, because you need to believe in him. Now, if you start doubting him, if you start questioning him, that's where the trouble arises, because your IGL, he's got a plan in his mind. He knows how to get you into those final circles. But if you do not follow his calls, you know, things tend to go awry, and that's where, you know, things start falling one after the other like a sack of dominoes. So, you know, a lot of things might happen. But Soulz of BD, well, they did lose out on Hydra though. Still sitting on 0 kills. Entry did get that one knock that I would love to point out. But apart from that, nothing much happening right now.
Indeed, as you said, and as I would like to point out, you know, which is like the most controversial topic we can ever talk about when it comes to PUBG? Scarrel or M4?
I like the Scarrel.
You do?
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, I mean, let me tell you the reason why you like Scarrel, okay? Fire rate's lower, one thing. Okay, now listen, don't judge me here.
All right.
Wait, listen, let me talk.
All right.
Fire rate's a little slower, and consistency. It's so slow, like, I mean, it's not really that slow, but at the same time, if it's slow, you're going to be able to, like, just, like, control the recall way much more easier. But at the same time, if you guys take a look at those kill feeds, a lot of people are actually going down and dying. This is, like, so unfortunate.
Yeah, but, you know, it's still the pace being slowed down. We just see a few knocks here and there. But, you know, we do have a conflict in our thoughts. Yeah, we need to battle it out. And I have my reasons why I say I like the Scarrel more. Of course, you know, a lot of people are like, hey, fixes, M4 is the weapon that you need to go for. But, you know, Scarrel, of course, I mean, I've been using that practically in PUBG Mobile at least. You know, if you compare the stats, the fire rates are pretty much the same. But what really differentiates Scarrel, that I believe, is when you attach that suppressor along with it. First of all, you do not need that extra attachment. You do not need that extra tac stock along with it to control it, right? But, you know, you have that area of sound. So now if you've got Scarrel, now the team number 5 is over there. Now if you shoot, you're not getting that pinpoint location if you've got the suppressor on. And the next I will be, of course, talking about, but that's a huge, you know, a factor that why I love. But we've got to fight a Medsus and Psycho going ham with the 4 times on his AK, but it's Ciso who gets that knock onto its Dictator.
Exactly. There's just a lot of fights happening inside Los Lunas. I mean, it's like it's a massive city. At the same time, you have a lot of room to hide and a lot of buildings to hide. But at the same time, as you guys can take a look at 971 Alpha, is just really confused. You know, he's just running around. He doesn't really know what to do. So you know, he's like, okay, I'm gonna waste my time just a little bit. You're running around. You know, just get some free air. Just like, just like get that. You know, just get the blood flow going because he knows the storm is about to hit and he need to get inside the groove.
He certainly does have to, because we see the splash of colors in Los Lunas. So many teams fighting out amongst each other. So we'll have to see what is gonna go on. And well, Team 1971, Alpha 49. He's trying to get in onto its martyr. He's knocked. Ninja in a very interesting spot. His position has not been revealed yet, but Hitman trying to get back towards his team. Oh my goodness. Alpha 49 getting that beautiful pick. And now, getting back to the discussion that we were having, you know, why I like Scarl. And this is going to be a breakdown. Have you heard about the term called a knockback damage? So if I shoot at an enemy and the enemy is shooting at me, if my shot hits, my head goes up. So that does not happen with M4. So if you have an opponent shooting, you know, if you're shooting at an opponent with an M4 and he hits you back with a Scarl, it's pretty much 90% chance that you're going to miss the remainder of the shots. Now, that for me is a deal breaker. In those close range situations, I would any day go for a Scarl. But yeah, if you're going for the spray, I would love my good old M4 over there. But now we've seen this fight breaking down. Mortis, Ninja in a whole world of trouble, as Heaven along with Dictator might just want to push in tandem. Can they survive this fight? Ninja's got to do something over here. He's being surrounded. Heaven pushing on towards him. Ninja and Heaven. Oh my goodness. Bullets being exchanged and Heaven goes down. Ninja somehow will manage to survive with the Whiskers. He's managed to secure 2 kills for himself, the last surviving member of his team. And yes, he's doing it.
There you go. One more team has already been eliminated, and I feel like that team is definitely going to be that team is going to be so disappointed in them. But at the same time, if you take a look at Team Martis, like they're actually doing a really great job surviving that, especially that one guy. He's just like really in that group. But like look at this, Wolves versus 1971. It's a 2-on-2 situation. While if we take a look at Alpha's HP, he is so low on his HP, and he's literally like 1 HP, barely surviving at the same time. But Wolves. BD seems like he's just going to be pushing him inside. But at the same time, if you take a look at, oh my god, Rafi's going to get one knockdown onto Psycho, but he's going to get instantly knocked down from that nade. Beautiful grenade nade placement coming in from 1971 Alpha 49. But this is what I was talking about when it comes to utility usage. They're so crucial that literally saved Alpha's life. And now that's the only reason that one nade why Alpha is literally alive. And if you guys take a look at that, what are those positions? I am so confused. Yeah,
I mean, they're just everywhere right now. Everyone is contending for a spot inside the circle. And with Alpha 49 really low on his HP, the last surviving member for his team, he needs to get in. But IPGX, look at them. They've got all their 4 players standing and alive. Tutul, rather, going in for those healing battle with his first hits that he's garnered for himself. But I believe Marshall might hear something. He knows there's someone, and he is waiting for him. One good grenade, one low-toss grenade can just lead into NRZ's demise. But Marshall stepping on the gun, rather going really aggressive, will want to get that final kill secured for himself. Yes, he does. And with that, NRZ Grim Reaper being eliminated on the 10th position.
That's gonna be so disappointing. There's so many teams being eliminated on the past here, and even right now in the future. Look at there's so many teams are being eliminated. We're not even noticing most of the teams because there's just like so many fights happening at the same time. And this is the beauty of Miramar. When we're talking about when it's like the Sarge zone, there's just like nothing happening. It's completely like calm before the storm, as you were talking about. And now, as soon as the fight starts happening, it's even hard for us to keep up with those.
Yeah, it gets really difficult. It certainly gets really tricky. Now, a lot of teams have to rotate inside the circle. Now look at Team IPGX. They've got the best position. They've got the best high ground situation. But Sincere, you cannot miss your shots from up there, because once you get knocked, you're giving your opponents a very good chance at coming on towards you. You've got that positional advantage. Use it. You've got the position that RRQ Athena would love to have right now. But look at Dictator. Oh my goodness. He's just running after. He's running for his life, but insane. He's just chasing him down. It's a cat and mouse fight. And Dictator,
oh
Oh my goodness.
No.
Gets taken down.
He tried to jump inside the window, but he actually got completely just so unlucky. He didn't ledge grab enough there. He just got caught off guard, man. Oh, no.
All right.
And now players of AGX are just left outside and they just don't have anything to do when they're just like knocked out and all they have to do is just die to the zone damage.
Whoa.
Kind of feels sad and depressed. And what is this position I'm watching? Dominic, what are you doing? You absolute beast. Are you even scared of anyone?
I mean, he was trying out some shenanigans over there. So, well, Illusion, he's just crawling back towards his teammate.
It's just quite funny that you can just see his backpack just poking outside the smoke, and he doesn't even realize. Imagine if the squad above him actually sees that backpack, they're gonna be like, "Wait, what? Is that a glitch? What is that?"
I mean, he's just unlucky over there. But now, Soulz of BD also find themselves out of this game.
Beautiful nade.
But that was a beautiful, precise nade coming out from him. An Illusion will, of course, connect it, and Mahfouz goes down. Now, this is what I was talking about. You're on the high ground. You're on the tippity top. You're the king of the hills. You're not supposed to get knocked out. You're once supposed to be oppressing the other teams, denying their entry, as Blood Legion also bow down on the 5th spot.
But I feel like IPG is gonna be getting his teammate up instantly. Like if you look at that, like this is what I was talking about when it comes to like really top teams and stuff like that. Like you have got your teammates back instantly. Like this is what makes them different because they are the best when it comes to the team game. And as I was talking about, Mufasa YT is already up. Like we didn't notice it.
Yeah, we certainly did not notice or see that coming. But you know, team number 10, INF. If they want, they can just close in over there. Then Veer with a few grenades of his own. Illusion. He's got Jihad right in his radar. Deploys that Molotov. Tries to flush him out, but it does not happen. Not the case this time. Yeah, he's been spotted. Caught with his pants down. And Rhinos makes no mistake in picking that knock.
But at the same time, I mean, even if like one player from Infinix goes down, like they still have like 3 players alive, dude.
Yeah, they certainly do. But you know, one certain thing that I really want to point out, how they have to contest and play against the circle. And they have to go in, but Illusion, a beautiful knock coming out from this lad with Marshall. Oh my God. Spotted him out, but he's somehow still alive.
Just juking those shots, barely just like missing a lot of spray from Marshall too. Like that was actually a massive error coming in from Marshall. He should have hit those shots, but Illusion just seems like he has some god movement, and he just managed to juke all those shots. That was actually quite funny. He was just running left and right, jumping around, just making sure he's bobbing and weaving all those shots, and he finally managed to successfully do that. And now it seems like Illusion is just going to be managing his HP up because he doesn't really want to like risk that first aid, or maybe he just doesn't have one left. But at the same time, if you take a look, it's literally going to be 4 teams alive, and the end circle is over here. Now, people from IPGX actually have the high ground onto the other team 13 here. So what do you think? Like, who's going to be coming out on top? Like, of course, IPGX might be, because they literally have the high ground. They can contest and literally pinch the team below and make sure that they're not getting enough breathing room. But at the same time, this is what I was talking about, crucial utility usage. They might turn the things around, and they might keep you alive for quite a while. And beautiful spray coming in from Mufasa. You didn't notice he literally got killed in a flinch. Beautiful 6x spray. M4 coming in on top, and that's what I'm talking about. You can do a lot with the 6Ss, but we cannot ignore what Mufasa is doing here. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Mahfouz YT? Like, you're absolutely just obliterating everyone that is coming in front of you and that is below you. You're just absolutely obliterating and dominating them, making sure no one is going to be passing through in front of your eyes. And now everyone, all they can do is just hide under those rocks, making sure you're getting your teammates up, that people that are knocked. And Mahfouz is still trying to get like a little bit more positioning advantage onto the teams below him. But does he realize that there's one teammate exactly in front of him? It's going to be battling, contesting, and coming in, doing a lot of damage on the team 13 here. But at the same time, taking a lot of damage too. It's going to be a damage trade-off. Now, they still have a high ground advantage, so Mahfouz and his team might get a little bit of heads up in this battle. Mahfouz down to really less HP now. This is definitely going to be quite interesting to see, because the other guy from Team 13 has a lot of HP here. Who's going to be coming out on top? It's going to be definitely interesting to see, but at the same time, Mahfouz is getting enough time to get his HP back up, and now it's a 1-on-2 situation when it comes to this fight. Who is going to be getting out on top?
Yeah, I mean, I really must say that they're in a very sticky situation, and Golden Stallion, yeah, there they go down. But take a look at IPGX, Infernal, Parasite. Oh my goodness, holy moly, 16, 17 kills.
God.
But The last kill went to the play zone. They did not get the final kill. And a beautiful, beautiful chicken dinner, rather, in fact, coming in for Team IPGX, and with 20 kills. Now that's massive. That's huge. And they were just like a band of cold-blooded killers.
I feel like they literally got like 40 points just off of that game.
Yeah, exactly. And now, I mean, now this makes the leaderboards a lot more interesting. Of course, Exentric Infinity did have that early lead of 50 points. And now look at them. 20 from the kills, 15 from the chicken dinner, 35 points.
That is true. That's like the really, like, that's like literally, if you're here, and if you're here, that's like literally a bump up right here.
Yeah, I mean, if they've managed to secure at least 10 points before that, they are surpassing Team Exentric Infinity over there. And this makes the game so interesting. And, you know, we just have gone with just our 3 games. And, of course, and right from the start, we did predict the players of IPGX did have that very good advantage. And I think this is where the decision to go towards the eastern side was really a good one, because in circles like this, we've always seen the shift going up towards the hills, and having the position over there really helped their cause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the MVP of this particular game. Who was that one player who came out up on top? And it has to be Mahfouz for me, but yeah, there you go. 8 kills and 904 damage. Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh my god, dude, Mahfouz was doing so much with that M4 and success. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I prefer M4 more than Scar L. You cannot do that stuff with Scar L, because I feel like the fire rate is a little slower. At the same time, if you have those long range fights and if you know how to control M4 success, you're going to be just mowing down anyone who's just trying to rotate inside the zone in front of you.
You know, I completely agree with you on this particular fact, because on those longer distances, you know, those long mid ranges, that is where the M4 really excels. You can control it pretty well. But, you know, again, getting back to the debate that we are really having over here, and I'm loving it. The Scarwell still in those closer range situations, I love it. And of course, adding on to those attachments, like I mentioned, it's like a personal choice. You know, everyone has their personal choice. I would love to ask the chat what they feel, you know, Scarwell or M4. What's your take on that? But before that, let's take a look at the top players. You know, I'm pretty much sure we're going to see a lot of faces from IPGX, and while talking about them, 3, in fact, from the same team.
Exactly. I mean, as you guys can see, Marshall with 5 kills, Sincere with 5 kills, and Dictator with 3 kills. All these are the top 4 players, sorry. And all of them have been like doing really good and have decent damage. Like if you take a look at Mahfouz and Marshall's damage, like they don't really have that big of a difference over here. 895 damage coming from Marshall with 5 kills, and at the same time Mahfouz Whitey with 900 damage with 8 kills. Like they literally have a massive difference here.
Yeah, and look at the survival time on this. You know, 32 minutes of play. This Miramar did go long. But it all came down to the team having the higher ground. It all came down to the one, because, you know, in Miramar, there are those cliffs that are really hard to climb. So considering the fact that they did that early on when they had the time, so that is where they won 90% of their game. All they had to do was fend off those enemies that were trying to get inside the circle, and they were on the tippity top. They had the best vision. You did see the kill onto its Mahfouz, where, you know, onto its Illusion, rather, where when Mahfouz got that kill. So Illusion did survive for long. But now let's take a look at the match summary and see, because I'm expecting some long distance kills. And there you go, 300 meters. Finally, we have reached that point, and 8 highest kills. Of course, Mahfouz being there. IPGX, they are all over this.
I mean, the thing was like, I expected a little bit more distance kill if we were talking about a map like Miramar. Like 300 is definitely not enough, right? We all can agree. Come on.
Because, you know, a lot of bolt actions were not really used over there.
Yeah, that is true.
I think majority of the kills that did come out were from the M4, and a 300 meter on the M4, it's kind of acceptable. But like you mentioned, in Miramar, you would be, of course, wanting somewhat like 350 or maybe a 400
maybe
mark.
400 mark.
Yeah, I think 400 mark would be like really apt, and you know, that would definitely be one of those stats to be, you know, really happy about. I mean, 300 in Miramar is like okay.
It's pretty decent. I feel like even like anyone can do that. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, what matters is the way they took the kill, and I feel like I'm pretty sure it's going to be some like tragic moment, or either just like absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, of course. And now after this storyline, I really want to see how many points did the other teams really rack up in this one. Let's take a look at the match ranking. And there you see 35 points coming out. And Golden Stallions, you know, really, really shining out in this map as well. 16 points for this lad. But DETONATOR, oh my goodness, I thought this team would be having the longest distance travel. They went all the way up towards Ruins, then rotated all the way towards the eastern side, then came down towards Los Leones. I mean, they did a lot, but if you take a look at the bottom half of the table, Exentric Infinity, just that 1 point and nothing apart from that.
Yeah, that's also from that kill that they got from that one fight that happened there. And one thing I would like to point out that you said, if you were asking chat that if they're going to be supporting Scarlet or M4, I am going to tell you one thing definitely for sure, that everyone's going to be going with M4.
I mean,
Team
it's
M4
of
for
course.
the win. Team M4 for the win.
And you've got the color combination to back it up with that. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, right now we'll be taking a look at our beautiful Oppo Reno 5 moments of the day and see how did IPGX go crazy tonight. But Exentric Infinity...
What I was talking about. Beautiful spray coming in from Savior there.
Yeah,
like,
they did. But, you know, look at the positioning. They were so off guard. They were, it felt as if they were not prepared for that particular fight.
Exactly. I mean, at the same time, if you took a look at this M4 spray, that was absolutely remarkable, man.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It was just like I just.
It was a laser spray from him. You know, that's
literally
perfect
he
way to
prone
describe
down to
it.
the ground,
Yeah.
making sure he can get the most minimized recall as he can, and then he started praying.
Yeah, I mean, you know, considering M4, you're on top, you've got a red dot, you're just prone down. You're basically looking at a spray that's going directly into the heads of your opponent, if not anywhere else. So that did happen. And look at Mehfoo, so much control over this map, so much control over the surrounding. Exactly. And I'm sure at this particular moment they did not have any utilities, because one good low-toss grenade or one good low-toss Molotov could have secured the deal. But looking at you know, the zeal that the players had, looking at the momentum that they were in, you're already sitting at 18 kills, and all you need was to secure the rest. And once you've got that much amount of kills, you know you're the top two teams. What do you have to lose over here? You're winning the game, you're securing those points, and with every single match, you know, getting over, we are kind of on a reverse countdown where teams really need to step up, because only 16 teams are going to be qualifying for the regional finals of the PMCO Bangladesh. So the remainder of the 16 will have their dreams shattered, at least in this split.
That is true. I mean, hey, not everyone can make their dream come true. And at least for one instance, we can say, like, it cannot be happening instantly, you know? It will take time. It will take a lot of effort. It will take everything. Like, it will just take more than you expect it would.
Yeah, of course, it certainly would do. But now, this is the storyline that we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, lo and behold, the leaderboard. I really want to see, has IPGX exceeded? Yes, the overall ranking coming out, 51 points, just 1 point ahead.
Exentric still has a lot of potential here. Like, they can literally just come back instantly if they want to.
They certainly have to, and they've got no choice. They want to be at the tippity top. They want to have that first position for themselves. That has been taken away from them. And just before this game, Necro, we were in a position where we kind of felt that Exentric Infinity were not touchable. And, you know, IPGX comes out of nowhere, gets that 35 bomb, and goes right on top.
Exactly. I mean, as we were talking about Exentric Esports, right? Next map is going to be Erangel, and I feel like Erangel is definitely one of the most Exentric Esports favorable map. Like, they love to play Erangel. And we have seen how good they can be on Erangel, the way they dominate other teams and the way they just capitalize on their enemy team's position. Like, they just have a lot more experience on Erangel.
Yeah, of course, you know, Erangel being that mainstream map that we're all familiar with, and well, Exentric Infinity have taken a notch up over there. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading for a short little break, because after this, the final game of tonight's evening comes up for you guys. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open, the Bangladeshi edition of Spring Split 2021. And of course, before getting started off with the match, a huge shout out to our sponsors. That's Oppo Reno 5. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have ventured into Erangel yet again. And in the first game, that was a very tricky circle going down south. But this time, I really want to keep things a bit neutral. I want to circle around the center, maybe towards the farm, maybe towards Pochinki. It's been ages since I last got to cast a Pochinki circle, a pure Pochinki circle.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, hey, Pochinki, I feel like it's a place where it's like a lot more crowded. We all can agree.
But not in the competitive arena, to be honest. Just one,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, when you expect, like, okay, now you're, for example, you're playing the tournament, right?
Yeah.
You think, oh, it's so like an aggressive area, it's such like a populated area. I don't think so anyone's gonna be landing there. That's what we all start thinking, and maybe then just like a lot of teams just started dropping in Pochinki, and you're like, oh my god, what just happened?
You know, it comes down to, you know, the mental thinking of the players, and like, no one is dropping, so guys, we can drop. And you do not know if the other team was also having the same thoughts. But on that note, let's just head into the map of Erangel as the game is live for you, ladies and gentlemen. And again, a southern flight path. Now, the flight path is pretty much different. Now, if you see a southern tilted flight path all the way from Milta Power towards Primorsk, and usually I've been in these situations, and the circle tends to go around the northern area. Now, a lot of teams are going to be going in for those contention of those vehicles. They would be trying to contest for that. They would be trying to get their hands for that because they need to go and get a decent loot.
That is true. I mean, hey, loot's the most important thing. Like, if you're able to get those utilities in your hand and as much as you can, it's just going to be a lot more important for your team. And at the same time, meds. How can we forget meds? Like, sometimes you just need to, like, take those or tank that zone damage if you want some tactical waiting outside the zone and you just want some teams to actually just flush out until you're just taking the zone damage. And when you feel like the ground's clear for you, you can just move inside.
Yeah, absolutely, you can. But, you know, we're seeing a lot of teams, you know, really going in for the drops. Now, I believe Team Artist, this time they're not going to Vichisnaya. They have actually dropped off at Milta Power. Now, this is the plan B that we were talking about. They knew that they're going to face someone, of course, on top. So they did manage to avoid that. But talking about the early scuffles that we have.
Oh, my God. Look at the circle. It was a military-based fly path. Everyone was actually going all over the place, but now as soon as they saw the circle shift, everyone's like, oh my god, this is actually a pretty weird circle. Why was I like so surprised when I saw the circle? It's like you only have 70% of the land inside the circle. The rest of the remaining land is in the complete water. That means it's like useless.
Yeah, it certainly is useless right now. But, you know, now with this kind of circle, a lot of possibilities open up. You know, you are kind of in the dark as to where the circle is going to head out. Is it going towards Katka? Or is it going towards Georgopol? Or is it going towards the Mount Everest? So a lot of different places that you can go. But when you're actually going in for the Mount Everest place, so the only problem, it's a huge gamble. Now, if towards the end, if we see a curveball against it, now you've given away your position. A lot of enemies know that there's someone who is acting as the king of the hills over there. They're not going to let you step down. The moment you try to go in, the moment you try to descend from the mountain, that's where you're gonna take. That's where you're gonna be hammered down. But we see a lot of splash of colors this time, however, on the eastern side of the map.
Exactly. As you were talking about the mountain there, I mean, when you're actually coming down, this is when the utilities come in place here. Smokes. We've got smokes grenade. That's like the most lethal way you can like take cover behind those. And it's like, if you take a look at IPG4, they already contested a vehicle, and now they're all rotating all the way up on the side of the map. And now it's going to be really interesting to see how Team Hyper plays around here, because they're just all over the place. I don't feel like they're just like looting those small compounds and try to like satisfy their stomachs with the loot they're getting.
I mean, they've been kind of silent the whole time today. You know, 3 games have been passed by. We haven't really seen much out of this team except from Piol. So Piol is definitely one of the players that I would be looking forward to when the next games do commence. But, you know, considering how Hyper have been playing, they've been getting a few kills here and there. But still, it's the position point that matters. I mean, it's a simple mantra that we've been, you know, going on for ages. always respect the circles and be in a good position. Eventually, kills will come down to you. And when you're in a situation where you ought to take the fight, then just take it. If you're not being confident about it, then don't. And now we see the players of Team Hyper making the rotation.
Exactly. I mean, I don't really trust bikes when it comes to like
those
places
three-seaters,
like this.
yeah.
Yep. It's just like not really trustable. I mean, hey, as long as you're just like you know that the place where you're going, there's like not a lot of people and where you can like not get sprayed down, then using that as a means of transport is actually a really good thing, and using that as a rotation vehicle is really good. But like if you know that you're going at a place where you know you're gonna get like shot, I don't think so. Like bikes and stuff, like a two-wheeler bike is a really great choice because it's so fast that it's actually hard to like even like track you while you're just cruising through and zooming through the areas that you want to go through. But at the same time, if you guys take a look at NRZ Astro, like the whole NRZ team has like, I feel like they have like a really good premises captured here. Like they literally have the apartments and school loot all to themselves, and it's gonna be like really interesting to see how much heals and meds are they coming up on top with. And I'm pretty sure NRZ is a team that can like that doesn't hesitate to like take that zone damage.
You know, now that you mentioned school, every single time, you know, it's an iconic place. And in fact, in entirety of PUBG, if also including PUBG Mobile, right? Back in the days when the game launched, you have 50, 60 people dropping off at school. And then we did get to see that huge nerf coming down over there. And it became like a dead area. Nobody went down there because all you could get was shotguns and a few SMGs. So if you are dropping off at school, you need to make sure that two of your other teammates are also positioned in those apartment areas to ensure that you have a nice influx of loot coming in from you, for your team, rather. But now, what we can see is the action coming out from Pachinki, where we have the team AG. They're having a good time looting it. It's just a matter of moments that they will be really hearty. They will have the stomachs full, and then they've secured the vehicles as well. So I think it's really going good. It's all merry-go-round up until now. Any single moment while traversing, maybe they might encounter an enemy. But right now, they're pretty much chilling.
Exactly. I mean, talking about chilling, it's like a lot of the teams that have dropped on the outskirts, like I'm talking about like completely out of the flight path, like have just taken those and contested those vehicles early on and have went like all across the map inside the circle, and they're just looting. I'm pretty sure they're going to be having a really great and fantastic time just looting, looking at the view, looking at the scenery. This is what I'm talking about. Like, so just look at that. They're just like trying to just look at those compounds, just scout them out, you know?
Yeah.
Just like chilling. Look at the way he's just like sitting behind the buggy, you know? It's like he's not scared of anything. He's just singing songs with his friend and just like, you know, driving and cruising through as long as they just get shot, and that's going to be the... There you go. They spotted a vehicle. They're trying to contest as much as vehicles as they can, and Team AGX already has a Dacia in their hands, and I feel like AGX team might be looking a little bit comfortable on their side because they have a massive loot on their name. Like the whole Pachinki was theirs. Like literally no one dropped there. So I feel like AGX, the Team AGX is going to be having a really great time looting here. And at the same time, like if you guys take a look at their heals, look at this. He has 5 energy drinks. He has 3 painkillers. It's like that's like a decent amount of boosters you got, and that's actually comes in a high priority too, because you need those boosters in the late game that can also give you like the movement advantage over the enemy team. Like you can get those speed boosts where you're just spraying down people and just spamming left and right, making yourself as hard to target as you can and making sure the enemy just misses as much as he can. But at the same time, here comes the rotation in from Team AGX. What do you think? Where are these guys going to be heading towards?
I mean, if I were them, I would just head on towards those compounds just below the Everest mountain, because you know, you've got a lot of options to play around there. The compounds they're kind of difficult to push onto it, but I'm talking about the compounds that have you know, upper floors as well, not those compounds just with the single story compounds. They are absolutely disastrous because you might just get spotted down from absolutely anywhere. But Exentric Infinity, they're making a good move, moving on towards the squad house over there. That's a good place to play around. But you know, it all comes down to your belief, right? Everyone's got different mentality, different thinking. We can see a lot of teams, you know, rotating around from the southern side. So that's where I think we can anticipate an early fight erupting out.
Exactly. I mean, I would like to point out, look at their drop. So lonely.
Yeah.
That was me on Valentine's Day, but we can get into it some later time. And let's just look at it. All this like crowded places, as you guys can see on the map. There's just like so many colors just flying across all of the place. If you guys take a look at Quarry side, though, there's a fight happening soon. It seems like it's going to be between SOB and D9 Esports. Like, it's definitely going to be interesting to see like how they're going to be contesting, because I feel like most of them are actually inside the cars and just trying to contest like through what's exactly going to be happening.
You know, when Soulz of BD really came into this tournament, I had big expectations from that. And, you know, I've been talking about this. Not every day is your good day. Not every day you think you can really shine out. And that certainly has been one of them for them today. Because, well, with the kind of potential and a caliber that they have, they've not been living up to their name. And now being, you know, dropped at, you know, taking a fight against the players of domination. Finally, Entry getting a pick. Of course, Hydra will get the confirmation. And Junaid, oh, I gotta eat my words back. Just when I was starting to think that they're kind of under the radar, they're kind of playing below their standards, they come back retaliating, getting 3 kills in quick succession.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes reading the kill feed might get like actually tough. You know, like you don't really realize if it's an actual knockdown or it's just like a full kill. You know, it just gets really hard for us to like really actually focus into it. But this is what I'm talking about. Look at NRZ. At the same time, NRZ Tutu, like he's taking a look at NRZ's back. While at the same time, 3 players are contesting a fight with ECC Wine and his teammate.
Yeah. Now, let's see. C-Wine, he's making a rotation in, along with his team at Exentric Infinity. They've done a decent job so far, but already losing out on Thunder, that's certainly something that they cannot afford at this particular moment. Now, with just 3 players, they're heading into its chargeable containers. So that's going to be a bit tricky. Gyro rather getting another beautiful knock, and this is one of those players. I think he's the next big thing. But I just don't want to step on the gun over here. But whoa, one Rafi has been spotted out. Then Team Hyper, they're actually going in for the push. And Rafi getting that beautiful knock. Can he get the second?
Oh
yes, he
God.
does. He went ham totally over there. Can go after alert. Oh my goodness,
God.
that's a disaster. The last surviving member, Piol, can he clutch it out? Can he do something? He is alone as the entire cavalry comes charging onto him.
What is he doing? He literally got 3 knocks down all by himself. The way he played that, the way he thought that process, like the way he's just doing that was absolutely good. But Pial is going to get knocked out on one of the players on the BD side. But there goes Pial down, and that's going to be the end of Team BD 71.
Wow. What a beautiful play coming in there from one Rafi. And of course, he's been knocked out. He's crying for help. But Wizzy, of course, will want to secure that, you know, revive onto his teammate first. And that's Bappy. And now I think he will help him out.
Unfortunate.
But, yeah.
Unfortunate for Hyper Gaming there. They just got completely eliminated. As you were talking about, they have been quiet all game. It seems like they're going to be quiet all the day one, I guess. They're just going to be completely just quiet. I feel like maybe it's just like silence before the storm. Like maybe tomorrow they will just absolutely dominate.
Yeah, I mean, considering how the fight was taken, one Rafi being very vigilant with the way he approached this particular game. I really liked how he played around. And now, taking a look at the circle, we might get to see the shift. I mean, imagine the circle completely going towards the western side, maybe towards the shoreline. And my wishes were kind of partially granted. But look at the positioning coming in from the Wolves over there. Now, Hospital is one of the most difficult compounds to really push. And, you know, Hospital being the epicenter over there, I think this is a game that Wolves cannot afford to lose.
Okay, we already know no one's going to be taking that care package because, like, it's literally out and open.
Yeah, it's right out in the open. That's very risky. But, you know, if you actually go in for the trade-off, if you look at an MK14, you will be like, it's worth it. But like you mentioned, you know, I also believe that none of the teams are actually going to contest because they do not really know where the other teams are. They do not have enough information to act out on that. Imagine they go with their UAS or their vehicle and someone from that hell spots them down. They're basically done.
Exactly, they're just completely donezo. But at the same time, if you guys take a look at Sincere, just trying to scout out as much as compound as he can and just trying to spot out anyone he can. Like, Team 11 already has his compound next to Hospital all in their name. But now, who are like the people who are going to be in the most advantage is NRZ because they have the whole like the hill cover or the mountain cover as we were talking about. But here comes the spray down from Wolfie. Not going to connect quite any shots on that dodge here though, because it's a really far-range spray. No shots covered, but hey, that was a good suppression fire, not gonna lie. That of course made them get scared a lot, and maybe they stopped a little bit. Oh my god. Beautiful shot coming in from Wolfie. Not gonna get the knockdown there, but hey, definitely gonna get getting a lot of damage in. And what a spray coming in on that Jeep there. That's gonna be taking that guy's HP down by so much. He barely survived on the slither of HP.
Yeah, they certainly are. But right now, Sincere, he needs to heal himself up, patch himself up over there. As Riedel, oh my goodness, he finds CISO with his pants off. He just needs to peek. Why on earth is he not going to do that? But Ninja being taken down over there from the players of Team Logi. All that Team Wolves have to do is just hold on. You know, they do not really have to move out. The circle is completely favoring them, and they have also scattered it out. So they've got all their 4 angles covered, right? All they need to do is try and not get knocked down. And if a team gets 2 knocks onto its Team Wolves, they're pretty much going in for the push, and that might spell trouble. So they're gonna try to avoid the situation, but at the same time, try to get some knocks and some kills, because Ryan. So this is where I say that the bolt action kind of tends to fall off. Had there been a DMR in this particular situation, something like a Mini 14 could have easily been a knock, or else just go with the good old M4.
That is true. I mean, as we were talking about RCS, I would actually like to give him some props, because I personally love to use bolt action snipers, because it's just like so satisfying when you hit that headshot. It's just like one shot, you know. You just like the satisfaction you get is just like indescribable. Like, I don't know how to describe it in words, but as you guys can see, Wolves have a pretty decent spot inside the zone. Like they have the complete hospital contested in them, and at the same time they have one guy who is actually checking their backs, and even the basement area, making sure no one's going to be getting inside this hospital, and they have the whole hospital on their name. While we take a look at on the kill feed, Sahil has been taken down by Alpha. Like, there's just like so many things happening at the same time, so many shots being taken, so much damage being dealt. Jigsaw taking a look at spots a player from Logi is rotating completely on the right side, leaving his teammates behind. I feel like what Logi, one of the teammates from Raji is trying to do is just like, he's just making sure, like, he's just doing like drive-bys next to the compounds, just making sure, like, if there's anyone in the compound, they're of course going to be counter-firing at him, like making sure, just giving that suppression fire, getting him scared that, hey, don't come here. We already have this. There's no way your team is going to be getting it back, because we know we are the one taking this. But we need to take a look at IPG4 Stranger there. He's just all by himself, solo inside the house. He's probably scared a lot. But we forgot to talk about Martis.
Yeah, I mean, Martis finally, you know, they've made it somewhat to a better place. You know, they've always been in the thick and thins of it, and we know they're good at their Erangel rotations. And now this is what I've been talking about. Do not overpeak, because the moment you start to do that, I mean, if you get a knock and the team decides to push on you, you're basically done. Now, well, Profi, what are you up to? Why are you upstairs? Yeah, finally, back in cover. I mean, that's the worst possible thing you can do as we speak. NRZ going against 1971 as Daddy comes in later, but Tutul already taking the knocks over here. Now Wolves will also want to chime in, join the fight as NRZ are going down one after the other. Now Daddy is the last surviving member. How is he going to hold on? But he's got a knock for himself. Psycho gets the second one as well. Alpha 49 really low on his HP, but there you go. Oh, that was a third party.
No, Daddy was actually doing so good, but at the same time, 1971 Thunder was the one, right? He took a lot of downs there. He completely dominated the NRZ, but at the same time, Daddy was the one who showed 1971 who was actual Daddy here.
Yeah. Who's your daddy? I mean, but, you know, what were Team NRZ even thinking? Trying to pull off something like that. Of course, they did want that ridge. They did want that dip, because you can capitalize on it if you can, you know, place your vehicles just beside you. But
one thing we can definitely give to NRZ is our respect.
Yeah.
For doing that kind of play. Like, one thing I would like to point out is, like, NRZ of course knew how hard it's gonna be to, like, contest that fight and come out on top. Like, you can't tell me when you're getting inside a situation like that and you don't know like you're gonna be dying, or at least like it's gonna be how hard like when that like come out on top. But at the same time, NRZ was like, okay, we need to take those odds. They realized on the situation, they capitalized on it, and they were like, okay, we don't have any other choice. We need to get inside that fight, and we need to come out on top, and no matter what. And they were almost successful at that, but then he just got third party. Daddy, we saw what he like tried to do there. He was actually playing that really well. He was just like in-assing, bobbing and weaving as much as he can, and he finally like almost managed to like get like 3 guys knocked down, but then he just got third party, which is so unfortunate, and I actually feel really bad for him.
Of course. I mean, for a moment, he did channel his inner demon over there. And, you know, at a situation like that where I really thought that they're just going to be hammered down. I mean, that was some good retaliation fire from him. But Soulz of BD United. A lot of players actually opting for the bolt action in this one. I'm rather surprised. Of course, Log1 Esports getting eliminated on the 12th position. I mean, they did go big in those first 2 games. But after that, they've just been kind of confused, not really having the kind of an outing that they would expect. Golden Stallions, again, another team that did have some higher rankings, but again, fizzling out. Now, Insane, getting that knock onto his Riddle, of course, will secure the kill. Now, you get a knock, and the next moment you get a kill. That clearly means that you're way out in the open.
I feel like now there's only like 2 people alive for Exentric, and it's definitely going to be really hard for them to like contest every single fight, because it's just going to be like literally just 2 players alive. While at the same time, take a look at the circle shift here. Completely unexpected where it was. So many houses, so much cover inside there. It's going to be a chaos all over the place. As we talk about 1971, we have seen how good have they been, and they're just literally just pushed inside the compound. Here comes the utility usage, here comes the nades, here the flashbang, Molotovs. Everything's going to be used just to flush out the people inside the compound, making sure just to get them outside. Now, Thunder's already here with 4 kills with it for himself. Beautiful nading coming in. That's definitely going to be giving a lot of damage to the guy who was inside the window there. And at the same time, Thunder going to be healing himself up because he took a lot of damage from that Molotov. Alpha 49 getting unfortunate there. Going to get knocked out instantly. Wolves is being so aggressive over here. Rafi, he's going to get knocked out. He's going to get punished for being overly aggressive, and he's going to be punished instantly. Now it's all down to Asian here. Bad Asian. What is he going to be able to do? What is he going to be able to capitalize on the situation? What's happening here? Because Thunder is already busy reviving Alpha, so I feel like it's a one-on-one active situation going on here. If he's able to take down Zombie, he might be able to do a lot more and get 1971 in a really uncomfortable spot. But at the same time, if you guys take a look at Zombie, he's being impatient. He's just going to be pushing inside. He wants that blood. No matter what, Asian goes down, and that's going to be another team wipe coming in for if we talk about that's definitely going to be a lot more good now. 1971 is actually in a really good spot here. Like if you were talking about like they're getting also third party by other team, like because they were like a little low on HP, because we saw like he got knocked out and he instantly got revived, and he didn't really waste his time to heal because he needed to give his team some backup. But as we talk about, Gyro is being so aggressive, as we're talking about, this man is just not scared of anyone. Yeah,
he certainly is not, as he lobs in a grenade, but he needs to go in with that push. Little does he know, right beside him, and yes, he gets it. He secures that. But look at the curveball, look at the shift. Now we are gonna witness these urban warfare. You know, all these grenades coming out, all these flashes. I really want to see some stun grenades in action, and no one has used it so far. With that being said, Infernal Parasite GX being eliminated on the 8th spot, and you know what that means. You're just getting 1 point out of that, and just 1 kill that gets you another point. Just 2 points from this game. Now this is not something that they would have wanted from themselves, from their team, and Exentric Infinity not rather in any kind of a good water. They're in bad waters as well. Now one Rafi. This player is impressed us so far, but now a lot of teams are trying to close in. They've got their eyes set onto the players of Soulz of BD. Can he really make it? Thunder getting blasted off by Gyro, and Junaid getting a beautiful headshot on one Rafi. A lot of action erupting as we are getting into the final moments of this game.
Exactly. I mean, as we were talking about, BD71 is absolutely looking at a fine spot here, and now Dictator is absolutely capitalizing on the situation that that the people are inside the house, and what a beautiful hide coming in from one of the teammates there, which was inside the. He was literally just hiding under a staircase, and they didn't like IG4 didn't even expect that he might be in there. Now Windy already dropped below from the window there, and oh my God, 3 knocks coming in for coming in down from SOB.
Well, right now, Windy has got to do something.
IPG4 is in such a massive trouble. Windy has been knocked. He's trying to finish a kill on the Windy. Oh my God, he's going to be successful in doing that. Oh my God, SOB is in a really troublesome spot.
But, you know, there you go. March is being eliminated. This time, however, on the 6th position. So, I think this is something that they can live with, right? But IPG4 Arc, these guys need to, you know, heal themselves up and will, of course, want to secure that kill onto its entry and get some utilities from the dead crate. And, well, imagine his situation over there. He's crawling, crying for his life. Nobody is coming for his rescue. And Soulz of BD have done a very good job at surviving for so long. But one Rafi somehow has been revived. Does he have a grenade, though? If he does, he can flush out the enemies. He can get that knock. Maybe commit for the push. But, well, Wappy Bappy. We've got some interesting names out there, and now it's a 2v2 situation that we find ourselves into. But the moment these guys go in for the push, maybe the players of IPG4 Arc can capitalize. But considering we still have that small shack in contention, it's going to be a rather tricky situation.
Exactly. SOB Hydra trying to use all his utilities just to flush out, or just like cause a little bit of trouble for BD71. Doesn't seem like his nades are quite going to be able to do much, but at the same time, here comes the smokes in from BD71. They're not going to be letting Hydra, SOB Hydra, guess his positions, and they're going to be staying completely like tacked inside their houses, like completely just not showing themselves. And this is what you are supposed to do inside an end zone. Like you're just not supposed to over peak and be overconfident or extra confidence, as we like to say, and just be a little bit more mature. Know what you're doing. Think twice, because like right now BD71 definitely cannot get on top of the roof, because if he do, I'm pretty sure he's going to be getting spotted from all over these angles and going to be getting shot too. But at the same time, one player from SOB Hydra goes down. Yeah, this is going to be a massive trouble for SOB here. Now Junai is the only one alive. At the same time, if you take a look at the zone,
yeah, of course. Now they're 20 meters away from the circle. Now with the 7th circle already kicking in, and he needs to heal himself up. He needs to patch himself up, take that fight over there, and get inside. Now this is going to be really, really troublesome. And now look at how they are traversing. They're way too much in the open. They wanted to avoid the fight against Team BD7, but that's not going to be the situation, as Dictator might be their cause for their demise over there.
Exactly, Dictator. I mean, the thing is, like, if we take a look at all these like good teams in the end, we cannot ignore the fact that BD71 has done so good in this game.
Yeah, of course, 100%. You know, they've been playing under the radar. They've not really gone bonkers yet. We've not been, you know, really seen so much. But of course, Whammy Bammy with that 1v3, that was a beautiful, beautiful play coming out with Alpha 49. He's under heavy, heavy fire right now, just getting eliminated, and Exhaust 1971. Being out of the situation over here. Now Team XP Blood Legion. Now this is a team that we can talk about being really consistent so far. With just 4 teams remaining, 7 players alive. Who do you think is going home with the final chicken dinner of the evening?
To be honest, I would like to point out that one of the members from 1971 was really unfortunate, because he was just inside the bathrooms area. And he literally just got pinched from all over the like he just didn't have enough time to like exactly take a breather even, and just to like breathe and get that free oxygen, as we like to say. It's just like he was just pinched.
Yeah, he certainly was. But look at this interesting situation that we have building for ourselves.
Yep.
Do you think this is going for a heal battle? Because that might be the situation. I mean,
I don't feel like it's going to go to a heal battle, because only 3 teams alive, right?
Yeah.
And heal battle is going to be impossible, because the last zone is going to be doing too much damage. And from what I've noticed, I don't think so any of these team players have like enough meds to actually tank that kind of zone damage, because it's going to be a massive chunks of damage just going to be reducing from your screen.
Considering the fact that these 3 teams in contention over here have been battling it out. I also kind of accede to the fact that, yes, I believe they do not have enough heals on them. But now Soulz of BD, they are making their move and have instantly been shut down as Ryan spots down Hydra, takes him down, and Wipey Bappy, well, he just gets exploded to Dominic. Oh my goodness, Squad BD 71 being eliminated. Now we are down to our last two teams. In fact, Junaid being the last player alive, and there you go, the Molotov comes in and he will be taken down. And the winner chicken dinner. Beautiful, beautiful one coming there. And Soulz of BD really trying their level best, but not kind of edging it out. But XP Blood Legion, they've been in the thick and thin of it all. 20 kills is kind of a testament, and 3,000 damage. 35 points from this particular game, and being consistent in the remainder games that they have played. I think they're going to sit on top after this.
Exactly. They have definitely boosted their position a lot more after that game, because 35 points is a lot when it comes to getting yourself on the top of those leaderboards. And Exentric Esports hasn't really been showing really that great of performance in these last two games.
Yeah, I mean, Exentric Infinity, and the same can be said with IPGX. I mean, they did get the chicken over there, but I would kind of expect a bit of a consistency from their part, because that has always been the key to be, successful in the battle royals that we have. And I think XP Blood Legion have done a very good job at that. But huge props to Soulz of BD to make it so far this time. They've been struggling, finally conquering their fears and trying the level best. Because let's be honest, in that situation that they were stuck in, they did not have a lot of utilities to play around, not a lot of med kits to play around. They had to go in for the commit. But at the same point, the moment Junaid really went out, I really thought that he would get a cover fire from his teammate. But his teammate was just like a sitting duck inside that small little shack. I think that is where they could have done a little better. But I think these are the learning lessons. I believe the pressure, so as to say, has kind of started taking over them.
That is true. I mean, hey, if we're talking about like now that you pointed out about the pressure, imagine if you're sitting in your house, okay?
Yeah.
And you have such a massive prize pool on your head, and if you are in those end circles,
yeah,
you are the top 5 teams that have survived inside the end circle. Imagine how much hands you're vibrating. Like your hands must be like
sweaty
really shaking, especially when you're having that mobile and stuff inside of your hand. You need to have those clean hands to actually get those precise movement and tracking. And especially if you're going to be having sweaty palms, it's going to be making just things like difficult by 2 times more.
Yeah, not just 2 times. I believe even more. I've been in that situation. But right now, let's take a look at the MVP, who certainly was feeling himself and has to be Dominic. 7 kills and 97 damage. I mean, this player, well, is also one of those few promising talents, few promising prospects that we will be, of course, looking at the remainder of matches in the PMCO. So he did not heal himself much, just 77 hits done. And 7, of course, being the lucky number. I can see a lot of 7s there.
Exactly. I mean, I would like to point out that he actually managed to do like 13,097 damage, which is actually a
massive number.
Massive number. Like,
teams fail to do that.
Exactly. Like, we've seen literally like some teams just like in the full game they just got like 7 kills overall, but this man has done all by himself. Even in the last time, he's the back-to-back one to get the MVP. Last game he got 8 kills. This game he got 7 kills. This is just Dominic is just absolutely owning.
Yeah, he's gone nuts and he's gone mental with the kind of gameplay that he's displayed today. But let's take a look at the other top players that we have for you guys. And, well, Gyrox, again, another big name. And then Ryan. And, well, it's just Team XB all over the place over here. Of course, 1971 X-Sauce officials, Thunder, getting those 6 kills, rather. But, with the way Team XB did play this one out, I was impressed. And somewhere down the line, Necro, we were feeling this coming, right? You could back and forth. They were trying relentlessly, getting those kills right from the start. We did see Gyro X in the first game of Erangel. He was playing really good, but it was a play zone that took him down. But this time, they did manage to have the better of the circle. They did capitalize on all those fights. They did go in, and it was just a raw, pure aggression position that won them the game, and they went completely huge with those 20 kills.
Exactly. I mean, by just looking at those leaderboards, we saw just them just like all over the place, and that tells us that that was an absolute pop-off game for them, and they went completely ham in that game.
Yeah, of course. Now let's take a look at the match summary, because we've seen a lot of kills coming out, and Dominic, of course, kind of owning this one. But Windy certainly has the longest distance kill, but Dominic again everywhere. Longest distance travel, of course, Ryan. And well, I see a lot of Dominics, you know. He's got the maximum assist, and that kind of justifies that almost 1400 damage that he dished out.
That is true. I mean, hey, I mean, 4 assists is actually a pretty great thing, and not just us. Other than assists, he probably has done like a lot more damage onto other teams too. You know, just like the poke damage as we talk, just to make sure like you're making sure that the enemy team is actually getting scared to peek.
Yeah, of course, and he did that. But you know, I really am waiting for the overall standings, the overall leaderboard that we have, because Group A and Group B have gone against each other. Tomorrow we will see 2 other groups, that's Group B and Group C, going against each other. Then this is going to continue on for this next 6 days, and after that only 16 top teams will be getting a chance to go into the finals, where they will be, of course, fighting for those PMPL slots again. Now, this game of Erangel was really interesting because it was completely different from the first game. In the first game, we had the circle ending onto its open areas, those hilly ridges that we had on the southern side. This time, we did have those compounds, but where the circle ended was in an open spot. And that's where Team XP really went big. That's where they went bonkers. They did manage to go aggressive with all those kills. And they were just waiting to spot out their enemies. They were just waiting to get that extra bit of information that they wanted. Right now, let's take a look at the match rankings and see how these teams are fared off. So XP Blood Legion, of course, with those 20 kills, 35 points, you know, doing exactly what Exentric Infinity did in their chicken dinner match. But Soulz of BD, huge props to this team as well. 5 kills, but good, a good rise considering how they've been playing so far.
Exactly. I mean, Soulz of BD, we haven't seen their name like much in the while. Like in all those games, like they haven't been really showing up. But this game has been definitely a decent game for them. At the same time, if you guys take a look at INFE Particle, they haven't been really like showing a great time too over here, because we saw previously like they were actually doing a pretty great job in Sanhok and like the first Miramar map that we casted. They were actually doing a pretty great job, but it doesn't really seem like after those games they don't really pop off much. But at the same time, if we take a look at Exentric Esports, I feel like even on the overall leaderboards, like they might be just on like top 3.
Yeah, they certainly will be on the top 3 because, of course, they did manage to get that early lead for themselves, but that was just about it. Let's just venture into the Oppo Reno moments that we have for you guys, and we'll get a clear picture. And this is what we've been talking.
This was just iconic moment.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of 1v2 he did initially, and this is where he went wrong. You know, why did you have to cook a grenade when you've got an enemy right beside you? He could have just easily, you know, gone, created a crossfire. The moment Whammy Bammy were fighting over there, I think he could have done a lot. But in fact, avoiding the
over here too. I mean, we cannot forget how like good Daddy did. And at the same time, even the guy who was like his opponent, one of the guys actually did pretty good too. He actually wiped out almost all of Daddy's team, but Daddy showed the same to the opposition.
He certainly did, and you know, even IPG4R, they also went out big. But Exhaust Officials, I think this is also one of the teams that we have to point out. Yeah, he just went in
with a bike,
and then he was like, "Oh guys, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong house."
Wait, am I welcomed here?
I mean, it was quite an interesting matchup that we did.
Yeah, the funny part was like one of the SOB players literally just gave up inside the shack. He was like, you know what?
I'm done.
I'm done.
You guys, you can kill me.
I will die in peace just to the zone damage, taking the electricity all inside my body. I'm just gonna be done. I cannot be doing much.
It's better that I get electrocuted rather than giving away my kill point. So with that being said, let's just see the overall rankings. And yeah, even I've got my fingers crossed. Who is going to be on the tippity top? And there you go, XB Blood Legions. This is where the consistency kind of kicks in. 67 points on overall, 1 chicken dinner, 36 kills, and they've been a kill heavy team, and I think numbers certainly justifying that.
Exactly. Infernal Parasite definitely dropped down a lot after that game. Like, they dropped down to 3rd position, but hey, it's still not that bad. But if you guys take a look at all these leaderboards, like, I mean, these teams are trying their best at the same time. It's like sometimes the zone doesn't favor you, and sometimes you just like get like just diffed, you know, like you can't really do much. But hey, it doesn't mean your chances are gone though. It doesn't mean you're bad. It just means you just need your time to shine. You need your time. You just need a little bit more time with your team to actually work out, and hey, you might be the one to win the tournament.
See, it's not the end of the world though. I mean, it's just the first day that we've got. We've still got some matches for all these lads. So today they might be going back to their drawing boards and figuring out the mistakes that they committed. So from what I really saw, it was kind of a very aggressive outing from all these teams. You know, they were not really backing off from a fight. But now let's take a look at the kill leaders, those individual stars that were just everywhere. And of course, Team XP, Blood Legion, Dominic and Gyro, 13 and 20 kills, and the Mapus. That show, that display in Miramar, I think certainly secures him that spot.
Look at Gyro. He absolutely popped off there, dude. Like 12 kills, and having a guy like Gyro in your team and Dominic, your team can certainly be the best to actually have those 2-star players, because they have been showing off insanely. As we talked about Gyro, this man is just not scared of anyone. He can take those fights without getting scared of anyone. He can take those crucial moments. He's not going to be the one like, oh my god, I was doing this, I was doing that, so I couldn't take that fight. We even saw previously, Gyro was literally on 1 HP and he still did not hesitate to go and help and assist his teammates, which is actually a really good team play when it comes to Gyro.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Gyro has been there consistently performing really well right from the start. But it was Dominic that did secure the first position in the overall kill leader so far. But that's all the action we have for you guys for today's evening, because we are done with the matches. So tonight we're going to call it an off. Tomorrow we will be back right at the same time. So you guys tune in. Don't go anywhere. Thank you and bye-bye.
Let's get it.